Oh, yeah. Yo, that's ass. I ain't gonna lie. It is, yo.
It's so dumb. I don't know what it is, and I can't be bothered to find out because he's about to leave these.
He's about to leave this motherfucker. So you know, it's so crazy. It's so crazy that when you're. It reminds me of when I left Phillips, the Phillips Seafood Warehouse. I ain't give them 2 weeks. I gave 1 week, and they was good with it. That last week, I know I'm leaving.
Yeah.
So it was some problems that took place during the course of that week, but
hey, listen,
I didn't feel the need.
It is what it is, my guy. Yo, it's funny. Yo, Twitch didn't like the title.
Really?
Yeah, it's literally. Let me read it verbatim. Twitch says that the title is invalid. Try changing it a bit. Fuck you.
No. And here's
yuck fool.
Right. Yo, here's the thing about doing that. I don't want to hit because some of the motherfuckers that y'all let stream on Twitch and the shit they be talking about.
Bruh.
Y'all let that shit go. So this shouldn't be that big of no. Oh, I know what they're reacting to. Cuck. The word.
Oh, okay, maybe. Yeah, maybe.
That's what they're reacting to.
But that's not the point.
No, I know, but
simple context clues. It's a robot.
Yeah,
it has to be automated. Yeah,
it's a robot. It's a robot, yo. That's what it is. Because the people they had the most problems with on that site is people who frequently use that terminology. As the red pill.
Yeah,
the red pill shrimp.
Yeah. All right, fine. I forgive them. I'm still not changing the title.
No,
the only way I'm gonna change it is if I can't upload it to Spotify. Then I'm gonna change it. But
right, fuck that. And
outside of that,
fuck Twitch.
I'm surprised YouTube and Facebook ain't say nothing.
Yeah, I mean there are certain buzzwords. I have noticed motherfuckers on their videos, at least for the first so many minutes, won't use certain words, and I've seen other motherfuckers who won't use certain words throughout the whole video. Like I've seen they won't use murder. They won't use instead of saying the R word, they say grape. Right? Like I've seen that because these platforms be on it, but it's like I tell motherfuckers all the time, it's their platform, it's their rules. All that getting irritated about it is understandable. It's human nature. But some of y'all be going too far with it. Like,
hey, Diddy. At the end of the day, realize that there's nothing that you can do about it.
There's nothing you can do about it. So sometimes, right, when there's nothing that you can do about some shit, it's best to take a deep breath and be a bit stoic about some of the shit. For me, what I find works is finding a workaround, an alternative. I start looking for that shit. Because if I spend the time going, why is this fucked up? Right? I don't really progress. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And also, I watch how other motherfuckers who were actually deserving of getting kicked off the platform, how they react. I don't want to react like that. Because you literally did something, and we saw what you did. That's it. We saw what you did and what you said, and they got you up off it. And for the record, at least anybody feel any sort of way about YouTube's rules these days and blah, blah, blah. I got to remind you that some of the biggest YouTubers on that site are responsible for those rules through their...
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
They did some fuck shit early on, brought a bunch of negative light to the platform. Any business is going to prioritize their ability to make money over your ability to act a fool on their platform. So... man, it sucks because a lot of those big motherfuckers that caused this are still here, still thriving, grandfathered in. It sucks, but
it's how it works.
It's how it works. That's how it works. So it's still early enough for me to do this quick intro.
What up, sis?
What up, sis? So let me do this quick intro. Welcome, everyone, to the Black Culture Geeks podcast. This is my man, SPJ. And I am Tombstone the Dead Man. And we are just a couple of geeks talking about pop culture from a black perspective. Facts indeed. And before we even get started, I have a public service address. An announcement, an address.
Well, both.
Okay. Before I go into the actual meat of it, I must set this up with the context that my brother SBJ has already done on a couple of occasions here.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while since I had to say it.
It's been a while, so it needs to be repeated, specifically when it comes to stuff like what I'm about to talk about. Multi-world entertainment, which is what Black Culture Geeks is under. Mm-hmm. It is proprietary under Multi-World Entertainment. It's not a house in GU. This is a separate entity. This is a separate business. I started with this man, Adequate, and my guy Keith, otherwise known as Jaded Nerd. Started Multi-World Entertainment because I always wanted a crew of content creators that work together to create content that we couldn't create by ourselves. You know, kind of like the fucking Avengers.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Right? I always wanted that. Never had it. Got it with these guys. And because of that, I got the chance to experience a whole bunch of shit in the content space and do a whole bunch of shit in the content space that I wouldn't have been able to do before. Everything from shooting commercials to doing photo shoots, product shoots, and just traveling all over our state. Unfortunately, Eddie wouldn't swim up here like he was.
Well, right. Yeah, I don't understand what's wrong with that guy.
Why he didn't do it either. But yeah, like we got a chance just to have fun. I have hours, terabytes of video that I've never released, just behind the scenes shit of us doing all of these things. And one day I might put something together, right. to commemorate that particular period of time. It was a dope, fun ass time. And why am I saying this? Because I'm also a member of GU, a founding member of GU. The community is important. But weak men, you were not bred for times such as these, because soft times breed soft men. The type of men who lack impulse control. The type of men that break down when a woman tells them no. The type of men who feel the need to drag other people into shit that don't concern them. And then have the nerve to do it in the most weaselly of ways. Now, I have to be careful here because this does concern other people. And I have to be sure not to add to what was they already had to deal with. You know, by dredging up shit that they want to put behind them. I got to be careful with this. But this was brought to my attention by the offender who just couldn't keep his dick holster of a mouth closed and not be weird.
Yeah.
Then he started acting weird, sure sign of guilt, and started saying little things in our chat. Little digs at Graydon. In our chat. Graydon gets mentioned here. Absolutely. Graydon's been on the show.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
This is multi-world entertainment.
Right.
So I say to SBJ after the show, did you see that shit? He said, yeah, I wonder what the fuck that's all about. I'm like, I don't know. Must be some personal shit going on. I might ask Graydon about that shit. But I'm a busy man. So I did not. Other shit to do. Just whoop. And then I posted something on Facebook, which eventually gets posted automatically to Instagram. Had nothing to do with anything to do with Graydon or GU or none of that shit. None of that shit. This same person, guilty conscience, would not allow them to not be weird and felt the need to take another dig, this time a very insulting dig at Graydon Square. Now, God damn it, all of y'all here that come here every Saturday have heard me say it. People who know me personally know this is true. Don't fuck with my friends.
Correct.
If a motherfucker say something crazy out his face to Ogma, I'm gonna be on your shit. Don't talk shit to my friends. You say something to this nigga crazy, now you're gonna have to deal with me. You say something to Cindy crazy, now you're gonna have to deal with me. That's it. So keep me out of it.
Yeah.
You don't want me involved, keep me out of it. This particular person, by the way, was accused of, what's a good way for me to put this? Making women feel uncomfortable in the community. Let me make this straight. Predators don't last long here. If we get a whiff, just a whiff, you gotta bounce.
Y'all, looking at the chat right now, y'all all been here long enough to know that that's not the type of thing that we that we're going to condone or tolerate. So
no, making women uncomfortable is not allowed in Reaper Legion house. It's not allowed in GU proper. It's not allowed in Multi-World Entertainment. It's not allowed in Black Culture Geeks. It's not allowed in any other subsidiaries that we have going. We're not going for it. We're not going for it. And if you're told about it, tighten up. If you value where you are. If not, you can just fucking leave.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, this is an online community. A lot of us care about it. We're invested in it. But at the end of the day, nobody's handcuffing you anywhere. There's no contract here.
Right.
No contract here. This particular person acted as if they had this big reveal that they wanted to tell me. But this situation been going on since at least 2022, 2023. Plenty of time. If you thought it was something I needed to know about something, hit me in the inbox. Plenty of time to give your side of the story. You didn't. So you know what your side of the story turns into? It turns into those weaselly little attacks on our platform and on my personal platform about somebody else. Then I got to see the screenshots. And you know what? It is possible to be, because I didn't see all of them, but it's possible to be charitable. Except for the shit you were posting in our chat. When I connect that behavior, that less than manly behavior, when I connect that with all the other stuff and the things that was being said and accused, not by one person, by the way, several. It told me everything I needed to know. Now, why wasn't I informed earlier? Y'all got to understand something. This ain't all I got going on. You know what I'm saying? Also, yeah, I'm a founding member of the community, but this is not the community. This community was not my idea. I was invited here. Yeah, early on, over half of the people that came along with me was from my fan base. Absolutely.
Right.
I was still invited here. There are apparatuses and mechanisms in the GU community that's built specifically to handle that. And they worked. There's no need for me to get involved. That's why. So Greg was like, what the fuck I'm telling him for? Or to quote him, I'm not pulling you off of Mount Olympus to deal with something we already got people here to deal with.
Right.
And he was right. Don't get me involved. So Fair warning to anyone else. We don't allow the bullshit in any multi-world properties.
Nope.
You won't make anybody feel uncomfortable.
No.
No woman's going to make a man feel uncomfortable here. No man's going to make a woman feel uncomfortable here. If you on some bullshit, you got to bounce.
Facts. And this is not a safe haven to run to.
Nope.
If you get into trouble over in GU.
Nope.
It's not how that works.
That's not happening. One of the things about starting an online community is that you will attract all types. You get the least bit of notoriety in something. You start attracting people. And these are people of all types. But there is a responsibility if you are the reason or one of the reasons why these people gathered together and formed this little community. There's a responsibility to make sure that you don't let some bacteria get into the community and infect it, where that shit starts spreading. And then nobody wants to be around anymore because this is a really a dark place. We've already seen platforms like that become like that. It's not happening here. Multi-world, it ain't happening in GU. It's not. I want to give a special shout out to the Valkyrie because they handled a business. And I was informed the other day that if I chose, I could grab somebody from my house to represent my house with the Valkyrie. I already know somebody I think I would peg for that. I already know somebody I think I would peg for that. But no, we're not dealing with that. We've seen it happen before. It's not happening again. Y'all don't know about the level of shit that took place in this community years back. You have no idea. And we had somebody that was, all intent and purposes, a national scammer running around the community. Scammed a couple of motherfuckers, but then was scamming all people outside the community. It was a whole fucking mess that went on for a couple of years, even after they was kicked out. Whole fucking mess. And most things start coming out about them. So that's why the rules are the way they are. Because we have no real way to vet anybody to keep it a buck. We have no real way to vet them other than your word. The word is your bond. And the moment your word ceases being your bond, the moment we start seeing either your behavior or other things start coming out like, hey, and I ain't Fat Albert, but hey, you can't, nah, this ain't a safe haven for none of that shit. None of it. No worries, that person is gone. They have been blocked from all of this shit. And it didn't need to be that way. All it had to be was not weird. Show up on Saturdays like the rest of y'all show up on Saturdays. Saturday morning cartoons. That's it, free thinker. When the mask come off, it's over. All you had to do was not be weird. We over here laughing, joking, kikiing, and everything. Having a good time over here every Saturday. All you had to do was not be weird. And you certainly aren't going to get away with talking shit about my friends. You got away with it, but you ain't get away with it. You know what I'm saying? Nah, not doing that. And any woman in this community feels threatened. And they come up to me, they come up to SPJ, they come up to Grade, they come to anybody over here, it's going to be addressed.
Yeah.
And heaven help you if it's one of my friends.
Right.
One of my inner circle. Heaven help you. Because I'm blasting you.
Facts.
All over the internet. Stay out of my friends' DMs with that bullshit. That shit better be consensual. You know what I'm saying? That shit better be consensual. And if she say no, let it go.
Right.
Shrug it off. You tough, right? Shrug it off. to the people that had to deal with that, sorry you had to go through that. But I see that the mechanisms in GU worked. The shit was addressed.
Right.
So that's dope. But don't you ever think you're going to come in this motherfucker with that bullshit. Because we ain't. Listen, you know how motherfuckers say, I'm the wrong one? I'm the right one. Don't get. All right. Fuck a motherfucker going to tell me about somebody I already knew for 14 years. Get the fuck out of here. You even know who the fuck you are.
Right.
Out of here. But anyway, that's the end of that. Now, hold up. Before you go into this title, right? You tell them about what Twitch said.
Yeah. So Twitch isn't a fan of the title. Tim pointed out a decent reason that makes sense in hindsight. But it was not my intention, and if you look at the full fucking title, you can tell that wasn't the context of what I'm saying.
Not upgrade them AI bots.
Yeah, because nigga, like, what are y'all talking about? That's not what I meant. It's not at all what I meant, and it's obvious. Anybody that is able to contextualize, would know what I'm saying. Yeah. And the crazy part about it is, I did this to avoid the censorship.
I know, right? You know what Michael Jackson said in The Wiz?
Well,
you can't win. You can't break even.
Like, what is happening? Anyway, so obviously, fuck celebrities, right? We have always maintained.
Y'all see that tagline?
Yeah, your heroes have no power here. But this is one of those things. I'm generally not one who likes to repeat myself. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. If you're in the position where you make me have to repeat myself, you're probably gonna have an issue with me after.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, it's not great. Like, you know, show aside and content aside, because in those situations it's necessary to repeat things. Yeah, but generally I don't like to repeat myself. It makes my ass itch. But
I was coming.
But this is one of those things, just like dealing with injustices and all that other bullshit. This is one of those things that I'm glad to repeat every time I see an instance of it occur. Celebrities are people too.
In fact,
they're people. Yeah. So they don't get to just do whatever the fuck they want to do to no consequence. They have things to insulate them from consequence, but not from me. Like, anything that I would have been able to do to them, to any random person that I don't have physical contact with, they're gonna get that same consequence.
In other words, you're gonna get this.
I don't give a fuck who they are. I don't care if they're my favorite. We've talked about this.
Yes.
My favorite comedian, Chappelle, out of here. Favorite rapper / producer, Kanye, out of here. So, like, one of my favorite R&B singers of all time, R. Kelly, out of here. I don't give a fuck how much I like the shit that you do for a living. That don't have no bearing on you being a decent person in real life.
Facts.
So you won't get the same work.
You won't get this work.
See these motherfucking apologists, and it bothers the fuck out of me. It is so annoying. So every time I say like that, put it like this, there are times, like, I've been recently more active on Twitter, And, you know, one of the things that I'm trying to navigate is not turning into what my old Facebook was. Because Facebook, I mean, Twitter is way more open than Facebook is.
Yes, it is.
And if I'm going to end up growing on Twitter, I would rather slow down the amount of ignorant, stupid shit I got to deal with. Because you know you can't stop it.
You can't
stop
it.
Avoid it.
The deluge of bullshit that you're going to get on that is crazy.
So I'm trying to keep that as minimal as possible. So I'm more measured with how I respond to who. Right?
Yeah.
But there are certain things that I'm just not gonna it's not gonna stop me from responding. It's just gonna change the words that I use.
Yes.
So who should we start? We're gonna start with Diddy because he won't stop because he can't stop.
Yo, you stupid.
No, I'm just
he's confident that he's yours. So he's the gift that keeps on giving.
Young Miami named in lawsuit for allegedly harassing woman to have an abortion to get rid of Diddy's baby. This is new. By the way, it's another lawsuit.
Yeah.
Okay. Young Miami is accused of harassing one of Diddy's alleged sexual assault victims to try and get her to have an abortion. On Friday, September 27th, XXL obtained court documents revealing that a Jane Doe filed suit against Diddy, alleging, I'm sorry, listen, how many times have we said filed suit against Diddy in the past year?
How many times have we filed suit against Diddy in the past 6 months?
Right.
Like, damn.
So, filed suit against Diddy alleging he drugged and sexually assaulted her at least once a month for 4 years. The lawsuit also names Young Miami, real name Carisha Brownlee, she's going to come up again later, and says she repeatedly harassed Jane Doe after she became pregnant with Puff's baby in July of 2022. The incident allegedly transpired at Diddy's Los Angeles home, where the woman claimed she was forced to ingest ketamine and other drugs before blacking out. She lost consciousness intermittently throughout the evening and shortly after took a pregnancy test. When Jane Doe told Diddy she was indeed pregnant, the lawsuit reads that Carisha harassed Jane Doe by repeatedly calling her and telling her to have an abortion. The woman ultimately ended up having a miscarriage. Jane Doe claims she first met Diddy overseas in 2020 and was invited to join him in an all-expenses-paid trip. From there, the woman claims she felt pressured to see Diddy once a month between 2021 and 2022. Diddy's team would allegedly appear with a car with no warning to take her to his homes in Los Angeles, New York, Miami, and elsewhere. The victim claims at times they would use coercive and harassing language to allegedly pressure her to go to him. XXL has reached out and to Young Miami's team for further comment. Young Miami named in other lawsuits. This now marks the second time the City Girls rapper has been named in a lawsuit filed against Puff. Back in March, producer Lil Rod, we talked about this, amended the lawsuit he filed against Diddy in February, according to the documents obtained by XXL. Rod accused Young Miami and 50 Cent's ex-girlfriend, Daphne Joy, of being the mogul's sex workers. So, there's really not much to talk about. The only thing I will say is a thing that I have no interest in finding out anything about Young Miami. Like, she's just never been on my radar, right? So I don't know the answer to this question, but I feel like it's crazy that she hasn't really said anything about any of this.
Yeah, that's true.
Any of this. Like, I don't, like, again, I could have missed it.
Right.
Could have possibly missed it. But clearly, y'all see the Diddy shit keep coming across my desk.
Well, to be fair, even if your desk was a high school desk, the Diddy shit gonna come across it because
facts. But I'm just saying, for her to be so closely linked to him for so long,
and linked to that, yeah, you would think that part.
It's kind of crazy that she hasn't said anything, and it's possible. I could be wrong. The time that I think that I could have been wrong is when her show came back.
Mm-hmm.
In the trailer, it made it seem like she was going to talk about Diddy, but I could never find a clip of it.
Right.
And I wasn't about to go watch the whole thing because, again, I have no interest in money. Right. So I don't know. Maybe she has, and I just haven't seen it, but clearly not enough.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see how that turns out. So it's really. Do you have anything to say about that before we move on to the next story? Because it's really, at this point,
there's not a whole lot to say. But listen, one thing I will say is, damn, that woman went and had a miscarriage.
Right.
The optics of that looks like y'all stressed her out so fucking much that she had got that miscarriage.
Yeah.
You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
You really should.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You ought to be ashamed.
Absolutely.
Y'all bunch of dirtbags out here for real.
Nigga. Yeah. Oh, we gonna keep going. Can I keep it going?
Continue.
So next up on the list, Janet Jackson. Let me see if I can find this. Because it's all celebrities. It's all celebrities. Now, to be clear, when I say it's all celebrities, I do not mean every celebrity. Also, right. I am not referring to some type of Illuminati conspiracy.
No, hell no. We're not doing that.
Okay, just wanted to make that clear. Just wanted to make that clear.
Hold up. So you just mentioned Janet, right?
Yes.
Let me still. I have to still man her to show you why
absolutely
this is egregious.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Janet Jackson.
While I look for this tweet.
Me and Janet are close to the same age. Janet, when I was growing up, I'm talking teenage years, it was all about Janet. Mm-hmm. Long before she had her run, if you were a young black male, Janet Jackson on Different Strokes, all of that. Janet Jackson is an icon in entertainment, black entertainment particularly. She was on fucking Good Times. All right? Janet Jackson is an icon. And when she had her music run, I am not by any means an R&B aficionado. Her music made you feel good. And even today, when I think back to those songs, it reminds me of a time that I was having the most amount of fun possible, and even blocks out all the fuck shit that was happening at the time. Just by listening to her shit. Oh, y'all remember that came out. Oh, yo, we was doing this. We was doing that. Completely forgetting about the other bullshit that was going on too at the same time, right? That's the shit. She was big. And that's why this fucking sucks.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that this guy
Access
is a celebrity of some type.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me look at his following real quick. Maybe not. I don't know. I've been following him for a while.
Okay.
I always what up, Bowflex?
Bowflex?
I just assumed
right
that he was a celebrity based on the type of things that he was posting.
Right.
And I'm assuming he's been on TV or whatever. I currently am searching him and can't find, but I'm not doing a cursory. I'm doing a cursory search. So
right.
But anyway, he's celebrity adjacent. At least he's at least social media famous. So anyway, Janet was interviewed, and you know what? Normally, when I do these things, I give context and approach it with nuance and all that other stuff that we implore people to do when they speak publicly on things. But given today's title, I'm not going to do that because I don't care.
Out of place. That seems out of place.
Yeah, I don't care if If y'all feel strongly enough in opposition to what I'm saying, y'all can go do the work.
Right.
And if I said anything wrong, y'all can correct me. Because I'm not doing this shit for them because they're not doing it. Right?
That's it. That's
so it. I'm not
they're
extending
not doing
them.
It. Right.
I'm not extending them that courtesy.
That's it.
No, we're not doing
That's
that.
it.
So
we're not doing toxic fairness over here.
No. So Janet Demeter Joe Jackson had got interviewed, and it was a written article.
Right.
And in the article, they asked her how she felt about there potentially being the first woman Black president. And she said something to the effect of, oh, Kamala's not Black. Her father's white. I just heard that her father was white. But, you know, I haven't watched the news in a couple of days.
Couple of days.
How many months has it been since Joe Biden?
Bro.
Okay.
Bro.
All right. Yeah.
Have you ever watched the news?
Right. Here's the thing. People are stupid. That is not an insult right now. And I'm using that as a statement of fact. Yes, observation. People are stupid. People are sheep as well. So let's get into some of these responses. So Jerome Trammell, again, I'm pretty sure he's at least lukewarm famous.
Right.
And like I said, I followed him for a while, probably years, and he'd be on some good shit. He'd be on some good shit. He made a post and says, Janet Jackson innocently didn't know Kamala Harris was Black and was repeating what she heard. Give her grace. Remember, she didn't even know what Flaming Hot Cheetos were. Now, because every time when I read it, all of these I'll read, I'm going to attack these dumbass defenses.
Right. Please.
So, not knowing what Flaming Hot Cheetos are means precisely dick. Right? Because up until I want to say a year and a half ago, I didn't know what Takis were.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Had no idea what Takis were. Right. Somebody just randomly one day mentioned that their child likes Takis. Right. And I'm like, what the fuck are those? Yeah. What the fuck does that mean? That means nothing. It has no connection to anything else. Me not knowing what Takis are does not mean that I'm going to not know the things that are going on that are going to directly affect the state of our union.
Absolutely.
Like,
hey, what Mike said.
Yo.
Unless you're making mac and cheese, Flavor Hot Cheetos means nothing.
Listen. So, like, shut your dumbass. So, what I wanted to say, shut your dumbass up and get Miss Jackson's titty out your mouth.
Yeah, please.
However, this is not my old Facebook. So I simply said, no. That bothered him enough.
I saw it too.
That he replied. Mind you, again, over 150,000 followers.
Right.
That bothered him enough that he replied and said, then don't. I wasn't going to.
I didn't need your permission to not.
No, not at all. It was set in stone. You didn't read what I said. No. And so when I saw that, I got curious to see what he was doing. He was doing that with other people as well. Just people like the first. He stopped. Of course, he stopped responding at some point.
Got 100.
But, you look at the when I first did look at the quotes, it would literally be somebody responding something about how stupid his take was, and then he would be like, well, then you don't have to, or some dumb shit like that. And the funny thing about it is the vast majority of these were responses that only had one comment under it. And that one comment was him.
Yeah.
Like, why are you bothered so much that people don't agree with your take? That is some bullshit. So let me read some of these quote tweets to you, because nigga, because some people get it. Yeah. Some people understand. So somebody says, what the fuck do Flaming Hot Cheetos have to do with the first black man or woman vice president running for president?
Zero.
Somebody else said, fuck y'all, Grace. Janet said what she said. Kamala ain't black. Y'all made her black. Somebody said, giving grown-ass people grace for believing anything they hear is crazy.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah. And you know what? We can actually point at that as being one of the major problems on the planet right now.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
Nah.
Right. Somebody else said, not knowing a snack is one thing, but being misinformed about the presidential candidate is a whole other conversation.
And the current vice president.
Right.
What are we doing?
Somebody else said, respectfully, no. I love Janet just as much as the next gay guy, but we can't keep giving people grace for being willfully misinformed.
No.
This is one of the ones he responded to and said, then don't. And the dude responded back to him, exactly, I'm not. Because what the fuck are you talking about?
What do you think
that you're doing?
Yeah,
right.
That's the real question. Like, he obviously believes that this response is something because he's doing it too often. So, what is it, sir? What is it?
I mean,
look, I'm in. Listen, if you want to run around and get a baseball cap and put a metal plate on top of it and be part of the Rhythm Nation, go right ahead and do that shit, right? Go right and do that shit. But she says something goofy, and it's super ironic, to quote D.L. Hughley. How you going to say that about Kamala and you run around here with a white person nose? Stop it. That shouldn't even
Wait. So your entire family.
Yes.
Your entire family.
Every single one, B.
Every single one of them.
Every single one
has spent collectively millions of dollars to look as far from black as they possibly can.
Yeah. And now you're concerned. And now you can say, no, we're not doing this. No, we're not doing this. No.
Y'all get grace because of what y'all do to an extent that the people generally tend to get less hate for internalized racism.
True.
Because generally, in those cases, they're only hurting themselves.
That's true. Sure.
So people tend to attack you less for those things because you're already being attacked.
Right.
That kind of grace
is starting to leak out and splash on.
Right. That kind of grace is what we have extended to you as a culture.
Right.
Right.
Not as individuals.
Not this. Yeah. No. Not this. Not this. So, some dumbass. Leave Janet alone. Those who just instantly turned on Janet and threw her away, you know what? I can't. Shut your bitch ass up. Like, this is the type of shit I'm talking about. Like, what are we talking about? Who the fuck is Janet? Listen.
Yo, these motherfuckers are crazy, yo. These motherfuckers are really crazy, yo.
She's a celebrity. She has been a sex symbol. She is, some people debate on her singing skills, but as far as being an artist, unparalleled.
Yo, hell yeah. You're not doing that.
So all that is fine and true. And also,
they don't absolve her.
There is no way in the world that she should not know what is going on in the political landscape if she is going to speak on it.
And that's the thing. Also, there's a such thing as being worldly. And if you have money access, you've toured, you've done these, you've met a whole bunch of people, you've met prime ministers and heads of state and shit like that. at a certain point, I'm expecting you to know more than that. Like that picture of Kamala's father has been floating around this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
At least I can guarantee you that the engagement of that picture has probably skyrocketed up thousands of percents since August, at least. So, you saying I ain't watched the news in a couple of days? That picture been floating around. It's been on news programs and all that other shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nah, B. And now several pictures have come out.
Right.
Several pictures. And I understand we live in a day and time where motherfuckers play fast and loose with images and shit. We literally saw you motherfuckers do that with that picture of somebody that was supposed to be her grandmother. We found out was not her grandmother on her father's side. Why? Because the grandmother on her father's side died in 1960.
Right. Right.
That picture has her at least college age.
Mm-hmm. And
y'all floated that around because that woman looked Indian.
Right.
And tried to say, that's her father's mother. No. Her father's mother died in 1960.
Yeah.
Could y'all get back? Could y'all kind of like get back to policies? Could y'all get back to that instead of this dumbass shit y'all pulling?
Not gonna happen because they don't even care about that for real.
They really don't.
If you want to
really
ask
don't.
and ask and ask and ask and ask and ask what a presidential candidate's policies are, but never once think to look at their website.
I know, right? Or ignore the times it's been mentioned.
Right.
Like, here's a video of the shit being mentioned. Here's a video of the shit being mentioned. Here's another video of the shit being mentioned. Well, I just wish she would talk about her. Yo, I'm showing you the shit. You can disagree with her.
Also,
but you can't say she didn't talk about them.
Wait, no. It's because they don't know what policy means.
No, they think
policy in this case. Right. In this case, when we say policy, we're talking about actionable plans that can be potentially put into law.
I'm glad you said
to fix things.
Guess what's not a policy then? Going off of this definition. What's not a policy is saying, I'm going to make America great again. What's not a policy.
Exactly. That's exactly where I was going.
We're going to lead with joy. That's not a policy. We're talking, what are you going to do once you get elected?
Boots on the ground, pen to paper.
Right.
What is happening?
Right.
That is policy. Anyway, another dumbass. Icons are allowed one slip up in their career, in my opinion. I don't believe Janet Jackson has enough. I don't believe Janet Jackson has enough political impact to swing the election in a significant way. So I'm choosing to ignore this misstep for the sake of her iconery. But don't let it happen again. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Y'all do way too much celebrity slobbing. It's dangerous.
Celebrity slobbing?
Yo, come on. Yo. We gonna call it what it is. Y'all do way too much of it. It's dangerous for someone as famous as her.
It is.
To fuel this dumb shit, this dumbass narrative. Like, there's no reason to be uninformed to that degree. Again, if you are going to speak on something, because, matter of fact, let me see if I can find that tweet. Somebody said, something else I ran across. Because people started attacking DL. Hughley. Now, let me be clear. Remember how I was just talking about remember I was just talking about some of my favorite celebrities and what I had to do to them? D.L. Hughley might be my least favorite comedian of all time. I don't think that nigga's funny at all.
Either.
And some of his takes are stupid as fuck.
Yes.
However,
hold up. We've talked shit about DL on the show.
Absolutely. However, when he got on that stage and said, listen, I was uninformed. I had not done my research.
Right.
And now that I have done research, I look at this a little bit differently.
Right.
That is what a lot of people are not doing. They're taking accountability for something.
Stop it. It ain't just a lot of people. Like that, I'm saying that it's just a lot of people.
No, it's the vast majority.
Really underselling.
Yeah, no, it's the vast majority of you motherfuckers. And here, I say that to say that does not suddenly make him infallible.
Right.
What it does is show that there's potential for him to be accountable.
Yeah.
That's all that means.
And
so
also,
to throw him away when he comments on the Janet Jackson thing,
right,
and to say that him of all people couldn't say nothing like this because blah, blah, blah thing that he's done in his past. Nick, terrible people can be right sometimes.
Yeah, broken clock is right at least twice a day. So if we're going to really be honest, and we're looking at the quality of the statements made, right? The quality of her statement was bizarre, right? The quality of his comedic observation about the nose thing is spot fucking on. Y'all ran from us. We turned y'all into icons. We loved y'all. Like when I was a kid watching the Jackson 5 perform on TV and shit, like, yo, look at these little motherfuckers. Yo, this is what I'm talking about right here. Yo, we identified with you. And also the stuff that made you different was the very same things that make us different, right? In a society that's used to one demographic getting a bunch of the limelight, especially at that period of time. It wasn't a lot of us doing that shit that y'all was doing back then. So we kind of held y'all close like this. And we did see you walk away from us. We saw it. And we gave you grace for it. Well, they're in a different position now. Blah, blah, blah. We saw you walk away from us. We saw you subtly, or not so subtly in many cases, tell the world that you thought we was ugly. We saw you. We fucking saw you. And your dating choices and your plastic surgery choices, the things you chose to change about your features. We saw you suddenly tell the world you think the our phenotype is ugly. We saw you do that.
Okay. So, this other person who I follow, and again, I want to keep this. This is how you know that this shit is consistent.
Yeah.
The last person that was somebody I follow. I didn't say somebody I used to follow.
Right.
I still follow him because again, in general, he be on point.
He's on point, right?
Another person who I follow and still continue to follow because we actually had an interaction, a back and forth, and I didn't allow it to go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, well, I'll just read it. So, oh, sorry, I got to fill in the rest of the Janet part. So after that happened, funny enough, that's when a lot of people found out that she was being managed by Randy Jackson, who is full on MAGA.
Full on MAGA. I went and checked his Instagram. Oh yeah, full on.
And then there was a statement that came out from someone who claimed to be her representation, apologizing for what she said. Then after that, her and Randy effectively came out and said, no, this person does not work for us.
They basically doubled down.
And then that person went to Variety, and the headline is, after making an unauthorized statement on behalf of Janet Jackson, Mo El Masri claimed in an email sent to Variety that he was fired by the singer and her brother.
And that's why they came out saying he don't represent. Yeah, he's
right.
Crazy.
After quote, attempts to improve her image in front of public opinion and her fans, and this is something I do not deserve. Because presumably they were doing their job.
That's literally what he was doing.
Getting fired for doing his job.
You said some misinformation. You spread it out there that was racially charged. That's one. It's being bandied about by some of the worst people on the planet, right?
Yeah.
And you went into that shit. You dove into that pool, which was a public relations nightmare, particularly for your fan base. Fan base. And that man was trying to do a cleanup to get you back in graces with the people who still stream your stuff, who still rather enjoy you as a celebrity or entertainer. And y'all fired him for doing his fucking job. When the truth be told, if he deserved to be fired, it wasn't for that. It was for not keeping you up to date with being media trained. Right? If anything, That's why. Not him trying to clean up a mess. You said you ain't had to say that.
Yeah.
You ain't had to say none of
that. I just read you the Variety headline. So somebody quote tweeted that and said, Janet, girl, log on before it's too late. I said, huh.
Said what?
I said, log on before it's too late. I said, too late for what?
Yeah.
I said, too late to confirm how terrible this looks. She said, too late to throw Randy ass under the bus. I said, okay, legitimate question, because I'm a fan of what you do on here. Are you saying you know this is him and not her, or are you hoping it's him and not her? She said, hold on. There we go. She said she thought she still. I even framed the question in a way to try to seem as non-antagonistic as possible.
Right.
She still didn't quite understand that I was not trying to come for her. She said, "Did you read what the Variety post said?" I said, "The part that says her and Randy, or another part that I'm missing."
Right.
She said, "It says her and Randy, yes, but Randy acting as management, which really means Randy, presumably on her behalf. Randy's a known Trumper. Now she may be fine with it, but for public opinion's sake, she has room to say she was unaware and not involved in the decision, and people will accept it." I said, "Oh no, I understand how management works. What I'm asking you is if you have any insight on whether she aligns with this narrative, because she's like been in the music industry and all some type of stuff." I said, "No, I'm asking you if you have any insight on whether she aligns with this narrative that's growing about her, or if you're just hoping she doesn't." Right. She said, "I feel like she probably aligns with it, just given her family's background. They're Jehovah's Witnesses, but she had a window to save the optics and her goodwill with the fans." I said, "Okay."
Let me ask you
this about this is.
Because I know Jehovah's Witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
To say they would align just because they're Jehovah's Witnesses with that side, I think it's
no. That's not what she meant. I feel like, honestly,
what up, love?
What up? Given how she tweets and the sheer amount of back and forths that she has from people attacking her, I honestly think she got flustered. The whole Jehovah's Witness thing was supposed to be about how they feel about political stuff. And,
got you.
And voting and stuff like that. That's what that part was supposed to be. And to that, I still say, don't give a fuck, because you are still a celebrity.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
And also,
somebody like, oh, she's rich.
Listen, when y'all motherfuckers do that right there, you've given me a permission structure to ignore everything you say about anything when you do shit like that. Oh, they're rich.
Yeah, she never pulled that shit. But some people are like, oh, she's rich. I can see what. No, nobody is arguing in good faith to cancel Janet Jackson.
Nobody.
Accountability.
Nobody.
Rhetoric is dangerous, and her being rich or being a Jehovah's Witness doesn't change that. Influence is influence.
Yeah.
Nobody gives a fuck who Janet Jackson is voting for herself. What we care about is the people who are fucking defending her being potentially swayed. So basically, and I said this already, but it bears repeating. Again, this is it's another one of those things I will always repeat. People are stupid. People are sheep. So here's the logical conclusion to this. A person who is willing to see Janet say something like this and think that it doesn't matter, right? They are probably one of those people who A, overly cares whether Kamala is black or not.
Yes.
And or B, is not that politically informed on their own.
Yeah.
Therefore, since someone who means so much to them personally in Janet Demita Joe Jackson says this thing, oh, Kamala's been lying to me. I'm not going to vote for her.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. And nobody is making the argument. Go ahead.
Don't we need to address? We need to unpack the idea that she can't influence nobody. So,
right,
I have a fraction of a fan base as a Janet Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Graydon has a fraction of a fan base in comparison to Janet Jackson.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We haven't influenced people. So if we've influenced people,
right,
you really going to say that someone of iconic status, which they all agree to, can't?
It's bullshit. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
There's no world in which that's the case.
No.
It's just not how that works.
That's wishful thinking, and y'all only pull that with the celebrities that you like.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all don't pull that with anybody else. If it's a motherfucker you don't fuck with and they spreading some misinformation, all of the things you will call them to the carpet for is A, being wrong, B, being racist, sexist, whatever the situation was, and C, influencing people.
Right.
So that's selective as fuck.
That is the prop. So why do you think we spend more time talking about dumb celebrities than dumb normies? It's because of influence.
It is.
The more dumb celebrities you have, the more dumb normies you have. It goes hand in hand.
See, this is why I don't like when people say shit like it's only words, especially if you are somebody who your whole career is based around words and verbiage and presentation of ideas through words.
Yeah.
Stop it, B. Stop it. Cut it out. That's you trying to absolve yourself responsibility. And the reason I know this for a fact is because I was one of them at one point. I've written whole songs back in the day. Man, that shit ain't got nothing to do with. I know better now. I've literally seen the results of it.
Right. So, fuck Janet Jackson. Can I keep it going?
We'll get this work. I believe you can. Yeah, all y'all gonna get this work.
Okay. Boosie.
Nigga.
Bring that ass here, boy.
Talk about a fountain of misinformation.
Boosie Badass says he's worried his daughter's sexuality will contaminate his other children.
All right. Okay.
Boosie Badass says he doesn't allow his daughter to bring her partner home because he's worried her sexuality will contaminate his other kids. On Friday, September 27th, videos began making the rounds from Revolt World 2024, which went down September 20th to September 22nd. Footage also emerged on Boosie Badass guest appearance on Young Miami's Carisha Please live taping that happened on day 3 of the event. In the
Talk
footage,
about a toxic waste dump.
Bruh. In the footage, Boosie explains that he doesn't allow his openly lesbian daughter, Poison Ivy, to bring her partner into his house. When Miami asks why, Boosie says it's because he's trying to protect his other children from homosexuality. Quote, "It was nothing. I mean, she still can't bring her situation to our house. My daughter's grown. Because I don't want it to contaminate her other. It's a generation we raising. I don't want her to contaminate her other 6, 7 sisters who look up to her. I want them to bring me grandchildren the right way. If I want grandchildren the right way, that's what I'm gonna stand on. If I don't want my other little girl to look at daddy and say, 'What's that, daddy?' to somebody she looks up to, it's not gonna come around. My grandfather didn't let it, my daddy didn't let it, and I didn't let it."
Yo.
Which contradicts where is it? He said previously in 2023, I think when she first publicly came out, he said, even though it won't be accepted as far as, because I don't want nobody in my other family to think it's okay, But what she does, we're going to love her to death. But at the same time, our Southern family has never been that way. It's never been accepted. But at the same time, she's grown and she can do what the hell she wants. She's old enough to know what she wants, and that's her. Now, I'm confused. Buciarian. I don't understand. If you say that it's never been accepted in your family, how does it make sense that you say your granddaddy didn't allow it, your daddy didn't allow it? What did they not allow if it wasn't accepted? If nobody in your family was ever on no LGBT any type of time like that, what didn't they allow? What was trying to occur that they put a stop to? Don't make sense to me. I had confusion.
I have one thing to ask. Because all this, if they see it, they get infected shit that they talk about. I have but one question for him and other people that make those sorts of claims. What sort of thing do you need to see that'll make you in the glizzies?
Right.
Like this is the part. What would it take? What would it take? Obviously, there's something, because you believe that's possible, right? That someone can be convinced that can turn into that. Remember what we talked about earlier? When we were talking about, this is before we got on, we was talking about Biggie. A line in one of Biggie's songs where he said, the woman looks so fine, make him want to suck her dad's dick. And how me and SBJ said, there ain't a woman alive.
Not a single woman.
There's not. The word fine as a value only goes so high. There's not one alive that make you.
No.
So think about what you're saying.
Unless that's what you want to do anyway.
You've been wanting to do it. She's so fine, it turns you gay.
That
doesn't compute.
No.
It doesn't. And neither does this.
No.
Neither is this.
Now, I need to play this video. It is his daughter responding.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Share screen. Chrome tab.
The whole world know that. And it been about 2 years now that I'll be quiet. I keep quiet on the shit. I wouldn't say nothing. I just go with the flow. I did everything in my power to understand that this is my father, regardless. I'm gonna accept him and love him for who he is. So I just seen he recently did an interview with Carisha, and he used the word contaminating. And putting my siblings in it with that. If you know me, shit make me so mad. If you know me,
yo, this is fucked up.
I love and respect my siblings with everything in me. And they respect me and love me with everything in them. When you getting on their nerves, I'm who they call. My siblings, most of my siblings, teenagers. Teenagers you don't want to let grow up. But okay. Another thing. You keep speaking on me gay. You keep doing interviews and I don't say nothing, right? The first ever interview you did, you said you found out I was gay, that I like girls and I had a girlfriend from a picture that went viral. That was a lie. I let that slide. I never addressed it. You found out I was gay a year before that. The incident happened in Jamaica when I was a gay B-word, when you called me a gay B-word.
Oh, man.
So if the world really knew all the things and the hurtful things you told me before and I forgave you, you wouldn't even understand. And no matter how you feel, at the end of the day, nigga, I'm your blood. I am your daughter.
So,
let me ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody here who is familiar with Bootsy, familiar with how he has presented himself to the world over the last something years, does anybody believe that how she described him isn't 100% how he presents himself? Like, do you disbelieve that he would have said that to his daughter?
No.
Of course not.
No, given
of course not.
The fucking irony of it, he has a song called Dykin. I'm not going to explain any further. I don't think I have to. So other things.
No, I hate to see shit like that because I always think about the fact. See, I got a daughter. Imagine my daughter having to get on some shit and say this about me because you can't even.
Interesting. How
that shit crazy. Yo.
Are looking at this scenario and you are, what's the word? You are empathizing through the lens of the fact that you are a father with a daughter, right? Mm-hmm. So, fuck Boosie. Can I keep it going?
Keep it going.
Fuck Marlon Wayans.
Yes.
Because
finally,
he is someone who has a lot of goodwill from his career. Again, just like the vast majority of these motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. And the problem, Marlon is a sneaky one.
Yes, he is.
The problem with Marlon, and of all of the ones that I've mentioned so far, mm-hmm. I most understand why people want to throw Marlon away. Mm-hmm. Because Marlon is one who will stand up
absolutely
and speak out against the injustices and the bullshit and all that other shit that happens.
He will.
Marlon is one who will do that, and he does it loudly. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. But it comes to this point where people still don't understand that there is a totality to a human being. Nobody is just one thing. Right. It's not how any of us work.
Right.
Some people like to call it duality, but it's even more than that. It's not just two. It's
right.
You can be several different, seemingly conflicting things at the same time. You can have all of that in your being, right? So the thing that originally put Marlon on my radar, as far as fuck Marlon, mm-hmm. was
I know what you're about to talk about.
The Dave Chappelle thing.
Yep.
Because he kept, y'all too sensitive.
Yep.
As a comedian, I should be able to say whatever the fuck I want. And if it's not funny, we find out by people not laughing. As long as people laughing, then okay. All right. I think we brought it up on the show before.
We did.
But that's not what happened this time. So I had seen
which you had seen.
Marlon is catching. It's not really a stray because he deserved it, but he just was. I didn't know I was aiming at him when I shot.
Right.
So it was this other motherfucker, this nameless nobody motherfucker.
Right.
I saw on my timeline this post, this comment by itself. Rape. Let's stop hiding behind this politically correct bullshit. Back in the day, whether right or wrong, I remember dudes in high school bragging about sleeping with older women. And I also remember dope boys picking up high school girls and nobody said a word. Now, so when I saw that, I'm like, let me go see the context of this because regardless, we're gonna get to Marlon before we address him. So in this thread, someone said, shout out to Magic Johnson and Dwayne Wade and Marlon Wayans and all the parents that love their children no matter who they love. That was a direct response to the Boosie thing. Mm-hmm. Here come Marlon tap dancing this. You can't paint Boosie as a monster. That man is the father that provides. I believe him, his daughter, and God will figure this out. It took me a second. Give their family grace and time. This is growing pains. She knows her daddy loves her. That's all that matters. He may come around, he may not, but that's on him and her. No, motherfucker, fuck you. And again, it's another one of those scenarios where he was, what I just said to y'all as to why I understand why he gets a pass just got illustrated in this fucking tweet. Because the person was still manning him for how he treats his daughter.
Yeah. You know what's crazy about that dumb shit right there? This idea. So I actually saw this recently on the Joe Budden show, where they started talking about, man, ask your grandparents how far apart they was when the book. You know what killed me about y'all niggas? You know what killed me about y'all? Is y'all have an inability when it comes to this topic to see how times will change. People will have a different understanding of things, sometimes a much more thorough understanding of how things work. And then they attempt to apply this because it's what we do. There was a time when we thought if you put leeches on a motherfucker, that would suck all of the goddamn bacteria and fever out. We learned later what bacteria was. And then we figured out, infection. Okay, so we don't do that anymore. Y'all niggas using that as an excuse and then trying to appeal to emotion because you talk about somebody's grandparents. That does not change the fact, and I'm going to say it here clear. If my grandfather was substantially older than my grandmother, he was out of pocket. It don't matter. Y'all niggas have an inability on the subject. And if I was to give you the least charitable explanation why, y'all want to fuck kids. Fuck you. That's my least charitable interpretation of that. You want to fuck kids.
I've said it on here when I was talking about my father coming back around. My oldest sibling is older than my mother. Right. Yeah. So, But yeah, so fuck Marlon. But let's get back to this idiot. So Marlon says that, and somebody responds and said, Marlon, he hired adult women to rape his preteen sons. Jeez, man. And that's when this idiot makes this response. Rape. Let's stop hiding behind this politically correct bullshit. Back in the day, whether right or wrong, I remember dudes in high school bragging about sleeping with older women. And I also remember the dope boys picking up high school girls and nobody said a word. Somebody responded to him and said, ... That's still rape. It's not about political correctness or whatever the fuck, quote, back in the day means to you.
What does that mean? Yo, I'm so glad this person said that.
Well, listen. Strange of you to vibe for that in this moment. He says, man, y'all N-words get on these social media platforms and cat. Y'all know damn well y'all heard cats brag about messing with older women and nobody said a word. Wait. Yeah, it's wrong, but it's the truth. Y'all uncles and daddies did the same shit. So somebody else says to him, just because things were accepted or brushed under the rug doesn't mean they're okay. You see how being raped by older men and women affected people. I don't care how you want to paint it. They were victims of rape. You can't consent to being groomed. This mother responds, exactly. That's my whole argument. I never said it was okay. I never said it was okay, but it happened and nobody said anything at that time. But want to get social media and holier than now. If I witness a crime, I'm telling right then and there. I'm not waiting until it's cool to be woke to say something. So I said, wow. So your gripe is that you were so amazing that you fully understood the implications back then and would say something. So you're mad that others have now started to understand and are now saying something? Right. You want a cookie?
You want a protein bar?
No, he actually said yes. He wants the chocolate chip cookie.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. So obviously at that point.
Yo, can you explain? I need some clarity, right?
So he That was his point. His point was y'all some shit because this been going on and y'all ain't saying nothing about it then. Which is one of those fallacies about the royal they, because no idea if any of the motherfuckers you were talking to have ever experienced this before. Yeah. But because you are aware of people who did, you just assume everybody.
Also,
same thing.
Keep it a stack with you. I'm 55.
Mm-hmm.
So for a lot of these younger people that he's probably talking to, my age bracket would be back in the day for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Niggas was saying stuff then. When niggas is way too old, come to the high school, niggas was saying, what's this nigga doing? Come here with these, look at these old girls. Niggas was saying it then.
You see it in some of the older movies.
Yeah. Get the fuck out of here, yo. No, we not. See, you know what this remind me of? I had this actual conversation with my daughter. My daughter had heard of, but had never seen the way the older first generation hip hoppers, right? And what they used to wear.
Mm-hmm.
When there was a generational beef back and forth about the type of clothes that motherfuckers was wearing, these rappers were wearing, I saw people who weren't from the older generation pulling these pictures up and saying, y'all dress like this. No, we didn't. They did.
Right. That was before your time.
This is before your time. I was there.
Right.
Niggas wore dungarees and fucking like that was all done for entertainment purposes. They were trying to mimic the rock stars and the shit like that. The average rank and file person that listened to the music didn't dress like that. And I submit to you that had they not changed that dress code, hip hop would not have survived. But it's because they started to dress more like the consumers. Yeah. It was more relatable to the consumers to dress more like us at a certain point. Mm-hmm. So, of course, it was always flashier, a little bit flashier, some gold chains or something like that. But overall, Run DMC was dressing like everybody else in the hood, just with more expensive jeans and more expensive tennis shoes on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you saw that because you're not from that era, and you try to apply what these musicians who are trying to get noticed were wearing to everybody else. That's like somebody taking Prince 20 years from now and saying, I know y'all ain't talking. Y'all all used to dress like Prince. No, Prince dressed like that. What are you talking about? Fuck out of here. Niggas was saying stuff. Absolutely. And I'm gonna tell you this for nothing too. Let one of these girls' fathers find out some second year college student is coming back to high school to fuck with their ninth grader daughter.
Right.
Yeah. Y'all too general with the way y'all speak for real. Y'all way too general with the way y'all speak.
100%. All right. So in conclusion,
fuck
P. Diddy.
Yes.
Fuck Young Miami.
Yes.
Fuck Janet Jackson.
Yes.
Fuck Boosie Badass. Fuck Marlon Wayans.
Fuck them. Fuck them. What's that? What was that? That scene? What movie was that? I believe it was the Coming to America scene. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Who's next?
Facts.
Who's next? Y'all motherfuckers kill me.
What y'all doing? Y'all so fucking annoying, my guy.
They're annoying and they're celebrity slobbers, like you said,
bro. Because they give you the he's, because they make your little shit jump.
Yo,
like, what are you?
Because you cafard a couple of times at a stand up, or you like the particular scene in a movie that they was.
And guess what?
You fucking child.
You can still do all that.
Yeah,
you can still do all of that.
It's up to you to decide where your line is.
Right.
Nobody's telling you where your line is. You decide where your line is.
But wrong is wrong.
Yeah,
the person was objectively wrong.
Right.
You can, like I said about Kelly and Kanye, I still listen to their music. Not when it's paying them, but Like I try my best. Well, see, it's easy. I feel a little
privileged.
Can't think of the word. No, well, yes, but I was going to use a more negative term. Okay. But yes, effectively privileged that it's not really as difficult for me because I wasn't fucking with a lot of Kelly recent shit, and I'm not fucking with none of Kanye recent shit. Right. So I'm only listening to old shit from both of them anyway. You know, and most of that shit I got downloaded somewhere.
Facts. It's not like you're getting a stream. Here's the thing, right? Why that shit is a lot easier for me, other than the fact that I'm not as big of a fan. Mm-hmm. Nah, I do music, so it's easy to me. Music is disposable to me. Like I do music, so one of the reasons I kept rapping, even when there was a point right before I dropped Rise of the Infidel. One of the reasons I was still rapping, I wasn't chasing none of that shit. I had stopped chasing that shit because hip hop music got into a space where I didn't like that shit. Right. Most of the shit that was coming out, I didn't like. So I'm making music for me. Right. So I don't have the same connection to it that strictly a consumer has. They don't make their own music. So they find songs they like, they hold that shit dear. Like, oh, to me, music's disposable. Like I have favorite songs that used to be absolute favorites of mine that I probably haven't listened to in 20 years. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But if I hear it somewhere, oh yeah, I remember that. Right. Like, so for me, it's easier. Also, it's just a lot easier for the words, man, fuck him, to come out of my mouth. Nigga. It's just a lot easier. Man, fuck him. You know? Facts. Saying, some of y'all. Yeah. I know the focus was on the celebrity aspect of it, but we should probably amend that to say, when you say, fuck Bootsy and fuck your fans is willing to allow that shit. Oh, facts. Oh, no. Okay. And fuck your fans is willing to allow that shit. Like, so there are levels, right? So I would go so far as to posit that none of these motherfuckers are on the same level, right? Mm-hmm. So Diddy is brash and loud about his. Right. Y'all, there's nothing y'all gonna be able to do. Right? Yo, I'm dying. That's funny. So Diddy is brash and loud about his shit, right? Yes, very much so. Young Miami, again, to my knowledge, has not mentioned anything about the Diddy shit. Mm-hmm. So being mad at her for her connection to the Diddy shit is different than being mad at Diddy, given how brash and loud he was. Okay? Janet, it was, we're talking intent, not impact. Right. It was an innocent mistake because it's not like this is something that she's like harping on or yelling to the mountaintops and no shit like that. And okay, so that's a different level than even Diddy and Miami. Yes. And then I will say that's mostly annoying. What she did is annoying. Yes. Because we see your nose and your cheekbones and all that. Right. And then you made it a big deal that you think she's not. You haven't been voting for black women. Somebody made the wrong. What the fuck? Somebody made the wrong point. Somebody was like, "Well, we know Janet's black because we watched her grow up." You're making a very bad point right now. It's horrible because that means that we know what her nose used to look like. Listen. I fuck motherfuckers up with that of a certain generation who've only seen Michael Jackson as what he was when he passed. Right. And I go, look at it. Who that? Fuck you mean who that? It's Michael Jackson. It's Michael Jackson. No, that's Michael Jackson, right? Yeah, no, Jackson. Y'all be. No, it's Michael Jackson. That's Mike. Because here's the thing. It used to be all the rage that the critique of him was the whole skin bleaching thing. Yes. And then there was a given excuse for that. I saw that. Here's the thing. We can accept that excuse because that's not all that he did.
he also had other plastic surgery. Right. So
his shit almost fell off, yo. Like, what the fuck are we talking about?
If you, he didn't have nostrils. Anyway, if you want to say, that, yeah, the vitiligo got so bad that he just wanted to even it out, blah blah blah. Cool,
right.
Cool,
right.
But what that got to do with your nostrils?
Yeah.
And to be fair, oftentimes with genius comes fragile
and weird
mental capacities.
Listen, I am frequently unhinged.
Yeah. So now that fragile mental capacity manifests itself in different ways, given the individual, right? So it could absolutely think about when they grew up and where they grew up,
and how they grew up.
It could absolutely be a situation where, because of all the racism around, he's like, oh no, I don't want to be a target of this.
That could be
absolutely.
It. Could be it.
The intent is not what we're talking about.
No,
we're talking about the impact.
You're talking about the impact and the end result.
You guys have spent millions of dollars, say it again, millions of dollars collectively to make yourself look as far away from Black as you possibly can.
Right. And I'm going to show you the level of, because sometimes people can't see it sometimes because for obvious historical reasons, certain demographics in this country and probably most of the West have become the default. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you got to flip the switch. Imagine how absolutely weird you would think it was if your favorite white celebrity went out and got plastic surgery to make his nose wider.
Right.
And darkened his skin other than just a tan.
But they do versions of that. They do
all of that. They do all of that. Like, because that's not considered the default or the Western standard of beauty, right? Because it's not considered that would look odd. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? But when we do it, because there's been a PR campaign to denigrate a certain phenotype's facial features, bone structure, and all of that shit. Yeah, people become understandable. What's understandable why they straighten their hair? Because who wants that shit to take out? Well, that nose is kind of wild. Boy, you could inhale everything from the whole East Coast for that. You want to do that? Them lips, man. God damn, what the fuck? It's kind of understandable. You know, you are kind of chocolatey over there. I want to lighten that up a little bit. It becomes understandable because of how standards of beauty evolved, how they evolved, right? So when one of us does it, people don't have the same, aversion to it. Yeah, he just wanted to look better, my guy. Yeah. Listen to what you just said.
Right.
He just wanted to look better, my guy. Do you hear yourself? Do you hear the internalized hatred of your phenotype with that shit? Now, as time went on further, there became less of us that felt that way, right? And more of us that kind of see the psychology of it, like, oh, all right, I see what's happening over here. And then you had even more of us that embraced our phenotype, right? So that happens. But it's just interesting, the response to all of that, the excuses I heard during the time when they were like the top family and entertainment, the amount of excuses I heard for all of that surgery coming from Black people. And those of us that was like, yo, that shit is, you don't think that shit weird? All of them? All of them? You don't think that shit weird? And I saw other Black people going, no, man, I'm just saying it. They're trying to improve their life. Like, you don't hear what you're saying, my guy? Right. You don't hear what you're saying when you say that? What, Black people ugly? Oh, got you. That's what you saying? No, but it kind of sound like that's what you were saying right there. The Black features are ugly. Right? That's kind of sound like. Now, if somebody outside of the group dynamic feels that way, I can actually understand that. They have a different standard or definition of beauty based on their phenotype. They're seeing the world from their perspective outwards. I get that. You're within the group. You're within the group and you think that way. How do you think that happened? How do you think that happened? Just saying. So, fuck Janet. Spreading misinformation. But also, fuck the forces that made them feel like they needed to do all that shit to themselves.
Thanks.
You know what I'm saying?
All thanks. 100%. Fuck all the motherfuckers. And again, it's different levels.
What up, cuz?
What up? There's different levels, and
yes, there's different level, of course.
This isn't me. I don't think what Janet did is enough to quote cancel her. Again, nobody's calling.
I don't either, and I haven't heard a single person.
Not a single person
canceling Janet Jackson, yo. Not a single person.
Not at all.
She getting this work for saying something fucking dumb,
as she should. Marlon is on brand. So take that how you will.
Take that.
Fuck Boosie. Boosie's on brand too, but also fuck Boosie.
Also because there's all right. So there are levels. There are levels to the amount of ignorance that I'm willing to stomach from one person.
Yeah.
And with Bootsy, it just piles. Unlike some of the other people we talked about.
Yeah.
You pick out one or two situations with these other people. With Bootsy, it's most of the time he opened his mouth, right? He's saying something. And look at this dumbass shit. And then here's my thing, right? Be wrong.
Right.
Be wrong. Look, all of you, be wrong. Because there's nothing wrong with you being wrong. It's something wrong about you staying wrong after the evidence has been presented to you. Then there's a problem. That's when I have a problem, right? When motherfuckers start breaking down to you why you're incorrect and showing you how you're incorrect and you still are doubling down on that dumb shit, that's when I have a problem. But being wrong is not the problem. You can't be better unless you're wrong. At some point, you're going to be wrong about something, but then you have to be open to be corrected about the shit. My issue with you motherfuckers is you'll be completely wrong about the shit. Someone will come along and show you how you're wrong, and then you will continue to incorrect that person. No, you wrong, because don't incorrect me. Don't incorrect me. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're doing. Like, and I found with Bootsy, you know how some of these chat bots like ChatGPT or some of the other ones, they have rate limits. Like I think his rate he went well over his rate limit a long time ago with ignorance and shit. Way over that shit.
That's right.
By the way, keep going because I see something that needs to be corrected, not incorrect. Hold up.
Oh God. Yes, Ryan. It is almost a form of Stockholm syndrome. Like, actually, each of them have some level of it, and then collectively, like the Wayans name and the Jackson name means so much to our community. And when you combine that with the fact of the time frame where their families started to make their rise, and you look at the climate of things back then, and then you look at the fact that they didn't have social media or anything like that where they could really readily get the opinion of the average person directly talking to them. It wasn't a thing. So for all of those things, I empathize with them because it has to be hard going from a scenario where largely in your mind, you got to compartmentalize and choose who you felt like was supporting you and was not supporting you. Like, sure, later on in their careers, analytics became more of a thing. Sure. But never have they had more accurate, direct critique and criticism than in the time that we're in now.
Cooking. Yo, I was listening to the whole thing when I was over there correcting someone that was being incorrect. Yo, cooking.
So I absolutely empathize with them for that. However, the thing about that, all of that is you have to change.
You have a
with the times.
Responsibility to change.
Here's the thing. Or don't. You can't be half in, half out. Denzel Washington. We don't hear any of the bullshit about Denzel.
Nope.
Denzel don't be all up on these social media platforms because, and I can't speak for him, but seemingly because he decided this shit has changed. It's weird. I don't want to do it. I'm not going to engage because I may have to respond differently to things, think differently about things.
See me when I make a movie, motherfucker.
Right. Absolutely.
Brian
says public accusation he was making world changes with his music. It's typical that they attack his image in such a way. Yeah, no, that's the thing. That's a real thing, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
real thing.
It's not that people don't have potentially legitimate reasons to be on fuck shit.
Facts.
That's something we don't talk about a lot.
You're right.
Sometimes people have legitimate reasons to potentially be on fuck shit.
You know, sometimes when you see an angry motherfucker, they have a reason to be angry. Like shit has happened to them. Or maybe they have seen what you haven't. And they understand the implications of what that was. They understand the level of insult that was.
Absolutely.
Right? I haven't released it yet. I still don't know if and when I am. But I have a song where there's a line in it that says, nigga, the levels of disrespect.
Right.
The levels. Some of y'all can't see all the disrespect.
Right.
And maybe that person can. And it angered him. And that's why he's an angry man. Right? Right? So,
that's how it goes. It's how it goes. Absolutely, that is a thing. However, it is still upon you to deal with that in a way that's not destructive.
Right. Right.
I mean, you can do what you want, you know, but
at the end of the day,
there are consequences to your actions.
Yep. And sometimes those consequences are public ridicule.
And that hurts you the most.
Yeah.
Because again, on your path to superstardom, you didn't have to deal with that. You were insulated. Completely. From, I mean, you might have been in a situation where there might have been a rogue fan in the audience.
I was about to say they might come up and say,
"Yeah, right." But never have you had to deal with a bunch of motherfuckers who may calmly be saying to your face, virtually, you suck, you stink." What you just said is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life. Like, you've never had to deal with this to this degree since you started your ascent.
Life's hard, get a helmet.
Hey.
Look, it's like SBJ said, we can 100% empathize, but still see it as your responsibility. Because, again, like I said before, my prime years, the people that would technically say is prime years, is a lot of y'all's back in the day. And I had to learn. So what make you think, you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to learn to be media trained. I had to learn all that shit. I had to learn certain ideas that I had that was fostered by the generation I came up in and that environment. I had to learn that shit was wrong. I had to learn that shit was toxic. I had to find out learn the connections between people and say, all right, now you treating these folks like this. Did you ever think that this is exactly how the people treated your folks? Oh, damn, that's ass.
Right.
I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
I had to learn that shit. Like,
life hard and you're stupid. I would like to amend that. I would like to amend that. Life's hard and you're stupid.
Take that F out, my guy.
Yeah, I'd like to amend that a little bit. Because as humans, we have a tendency to be dumb sometimes. It's just what it is. I mean, and again, when we talk bad about humans, we include ourselves because we are indeed.
Don't really get about that shit. Like when we talk, we're talking about. Like I'm trying to figure out, like for the life of me, why people would think we would not be including ourselves.
Oh no, absolutely, yes as well.
You know what I'm saying?
Thanks, free thinker. He said, "Growing beyond your circumstances and seeing the hypocrisy." It's a thing.
No, that's it. That's right there. Like so,
yes.
you can't make all of these spectacular, insightful arguments about why you shouldn't be treated this way. And then you're doing this literally to some other group because they're different than you. They love different than you. They like some other stuff. They're more attracted to some other stuff than the shit that you attract to. You can't do that. I had to learn that myself as a grown-ass man. So I feel like, what's one of the things we say on the show all the time? If you walk in the room and we're the smartest people there, leave.
Yep.
Leave. I don't feel like I'm that much smarter than the average motherfucker. So if I had to figure that shit out, you got to figure that shit out. And if you're somebody that operates on a large stage, it is 100% your responsibility to figure that shit out because you got access through money and experiences and travel and see different people and how people live different lives and shit. Like, nah, B, you can't tell me that you are this worldly, traveled person that have met all these entire people and you still in a fucking mud hut mentally about other groups. No, no. That's bullshit to me. That's bullshit to me. In other words, you took your money, you used that money to build yourself a cave. Where you didn't have to interact with anybody else. And guess what? Humans, from an evolutionary standpoint, are not meant to live like that.
No.
We are sociable creatures. Even those of us that don't like other people.
Facts.
Still have to be initiated in with the other pack. Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
So a lot of these people that get these resources and can wall themselves off from everybody else, that's not healthy for a human, period. It's not.
Yeah. No.
It's not.
So yeah, again, fuck all them. Fuck celebrities. It's just what it
fuck
is.
celebrities. Yo, Cuck Felebrities, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit crazy, all right, bro.
So, moving on.
Yes, the week. So, let me start with my week here. I was laughing. at one of my friends. He was attempting to talk shit to me. Now, to be clear, all of my friends talk shit to me, and it's well earned.
I can attest.
It's well.
Oh, my bad.
Earned. Watch your business. It's well earned. I was laughing at my friend because I feel like sometimes we get indoctrinated with things that don't currently serve us. It might serve you in the future, but currently, your current living conditions, none of that helps you. I have a friend of mine that has been involved in business. I'm going to say not since I known him, but maybe at least 5 years after we first met. And I've known him since I was in the 7th grade, going into the 8th, right? I say he's been involved with business. The reason I say that way is because he stands adjacent to business. In fact, there's only been one time he actually had a business himself. He was selling oils and incense. And he was actually making good money. He didn't have a store or anything. But just the time period that this was, him being a Muslim like I was, there was a certain market for Muslims selling oils and incense. If you saw some guy wearing a jelly bean You know what I'm saying? The full beard and all of that shit, the signet ring and all that other shit, walking down the street, and he had that little bandolier going around here with the oils. Oh shit, let me go get that. This guy would walk from Emerson Village all the way over there to Liberty Heights and make money just from the walk. Y'all let me. It's doing big. It was dope. But you know, those trends come to an end. But he still was interested in the business. But he never wanted to actually, seems to me, he never wanted to do the things that it requires. You have your own business. And that comes with the risk of putting money in it, spending time in it, and potentially it could fail. Instead, he wanted to graft himself onto an already established business like insurance or real estate, but not on his own accord, by some established entity already that was trying to sell him on the idea that if you spend this money with us, if you buy all our books, if you buy all of our shit, and then you do it under us in a multi-layered business model, you'll become rich beyond your wildest dreams.
Mm-hmm.
And this friend is 2 years older than me. And for me to say he isn't rich, it's an understatement. It is an absolute understatement. But he's read all the books. He's read all the books, Rich Man, Poor Man, blah, 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 blah. He's read all of the shit. He can quote that shit verbatim. He can quote all the platitudes that come out of these books. Now, I've always been of the opinion that nothing beats a good book except when these books are just money grabs. When these books profess that they're going to teach you insights on business, but don't even tell you how to form an LLC. Instead, they give you a bunch of platitudes and sayings and recallings of their past experiences. And while I'm not saying that's not valuable to a certain degree, you certainly can't use any of that shit to jumpstart an actual business. They never tell you what's in demand that you should try, that you need to jump into with this product or this service. It's always when I was a lad, or the reason poor people are poor, but it's never any substantial something with meat on the bone. So what you walk away many times from these books is with all these quotes. Very beneficial quotes for these guys, for these people, because it's good to try to paint poverty as a poor people problem and not a systemic problem. Because if you're someone who's figured the system out and found a way to be at the top of that funnel where the money's funneling up, it benefits you for them to still be poor.
Right.
It benefits you. So, of course, you're going to say that's their fault, because now you're not responsible for changing shit so that there can be more of a compression of the wealth. But be that as it may, it is 2024. Now, the business does he have? Me, who since 2012 has had like 4 of them. Shut up, cat. He telling me, who's had businesses that literally sustained my lifestyle. He thinks he's going to give me this advice when my wife has several business degrees. Who you think I'm going to go to?
Right.
Where my wife has not only had her own, when I met her, she had her own business that was doing very well. But she's helped other people start their businesses, help them with their startups. But he won't tell me. So as he was regaling me with his years of impractical knowledge that he learned from reading these books, not something he hands-on done. I let him speak. I let him spit his game. And after he was done, I said, at what point in your life are you going to apply any of this stuff for yourself? At what point is that going to happen? When? Nigga, you're 2 years older than me, which means you're 2 years closer to retirement. When you going to do that? Because all that stuff you saying, I've already learned that stuff from doing and some reading, because you got to do both, right? When you going to do that? He says to me, well, I'm in this transitional period. Nigga, you're 57. I don't know how many more transitions you have. Right? Stop talking to me about that sort of shit. I don't want to hear that no more until I see you applying some of that shit. Show me the results. You ever think maybe the reason why the people at your job are annoyed with you when you start talking that shit is because you're at that job with them talking that shit? You ever think that you're not a good messenger for this particular thing? Did it ever come across your mind in any sort of way? Did you ever think about that? That you just sound annoying? You sound like somebody who sat on the bench and talked about scores and scoring and what you need to do, but you didn't go out there with the ball, and you didn't have a physical ailment that prevented you. You could have done that shit. That's why they're annoyed with you. That when they ask you for something small, they work with you. Y'all been cool for years. They say, yo, yeah. Look, man, I'm a little short. Let me get a dollar. I'll get it back to you. And you start going into how they should, the way they do their checks, their money when they come. You should put a little to the side here, and this is and you keep doing that all the time. And that way you'll be successful. Nigga, you at the same job. Yeah, stop it. And you don't even own a home. Stop it. I'm putting yourself up here. Stop doing that. You can certainly think highly of yourself. Sure. It's just that when you start putting other people here.
Right.
Like, come on, man. Stop doing that. So I had that conversation with him. Also had a doctor's appointment this week to do some blood work. So I go in, and the last time I went in, the young lady that was taking the blood, she's talking about, while we was taking there, she had some stuff on her little desk that led me to, oh, she a comic book head. I just happened to have comic books in my book bag. I carry my book bag around, and I have our comic books in it because you never know. I said, so you in the comic books like that? Yeah. Check this out. I wrote the story along with my partner, Greg Square. You see our names right there. The artist, Joseph Arnold, blah, 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 right there on the thing. With just the comics. Go ahead, take it. For real? Yeah. These look great. Go take that. When I go back there this week to do some more blood work, when I walk in the room, actually, when I'm in the waiting room, she walks by and go, oh, she walks by, oh. I see when I go in there. She said, I took those books home. First of all, love the story, love the artwork. I let my husband see him, and he went, yo, I know these people. I heard of them. No, he wasn't in there with you. No. She's like, yo, one of the guys was in there with me. So because he didn't believe, when she saw me the other day, she's like, I want to take a picture with you before you leave. That was fire on a lot of levels. Mm-hmm. But what it also did was tell me that there's some aspects of the way we run Majestic Comics that has to evolve.
Word.
We hardly do the amount of marketing and ads that we should. 2025, we aim to stop that. We also need to produce more titles, and that's a little bit difficult, but it's not impossible, because we're not the only writers. We have other writers that have titles. So maybe what we do is we cycle. Your shit ready? All right, bam. That's the next Kickstarter. Your shit ready? Bam, good. That's the next Kickstarter. And while that's happening, the other stuff is being written, getting put into a position to get ready to be in the Kickstarter. And then bam, we cycle it. We could probably get at least 3 books out a year. At least 3, right? They might be from different titles, but at least 3. We're not doing that thing about doing Kickstarters around this time of year again. That's done. We're never doing that again. Because we did it last time. It was successful, but it was nowhere near what the summer one was, that we did in summer last year. So we're not going to do that again. But still, seeing this and seeing the reaction we had, she told me too, she had to be careful with the books around her kids because her son sees pages and pictures that he likes and he pulls the pages out.
Yo!
I said, I understand what you're going through. I had a nephew just do the same thing. I'm looking at you, Decaeus, a.k.a. Roderick. I'm looking at you. Yeah, looking at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I thought that was dope. I thought that was fire, but we need to do more so more people, we need to be more visible. Because it's not like we don't have a product. And I have looked at everybody's content, even if it's just a synopsis. I've read all the books that are ready from the other writers, and I've read SBJ synopsis. We got heat. I'm telling you, we got heat. We just got to do more. We have to do more, and a lot of that comes down to funding. So we have to get our funding situation straight. But we got heat because I was listening to a podcast the other day about SBJs. We got heat. We got fiction for your ass. All right. We got fiction for your ass. It's just we definitely need, there are things that we need to do better as a company and shit. Right. So that's what, to me, what 2025 is about. Getting that shit right. But other than that, I talked to my mom this week. She's doing well. My sister is out of the country. She's in Toronto. And I told her, don't play any country music. Well, see, here's the thing, right? The trip she's on with other family members. One of my older cousins, Thelma, and a cousin that's my age, Therese, and one of my other younger cousins as well. So they're all doing this together. This is a trip that actually, according to what my sister told me, this is a trip that my mom, her sisters used to go on all the time. So they are carrying on that tradition. The crazy thing about that is, you know what that means, though. Mm-hmm. You're now in that seat. You're now with your mom and aunts were. Back then, that's what you are now. Right. Just saying. It's very interesting. But yeah, that was my week. All right.
So I don't got much. There was a slight incident where
a kerfuffle.
Oh shit, yo, this is hilarious. So side note, somebody said Boosie is too unfortunate faced and not really. No. Boosie is too unfortunate faced and not nearly talented enough to get all this love and passes, but I totally know why he does.
Why? Why does he? Did you give an explanation?
Nah, they didn't go any further.
I'm trying to figure that out. Yo, unfortunate. Yo, is this person trying to say he's facially challenged?
Unfortunate face is wild. Is wild.
Unfortunate face is diabolical.
Yo, Chris. That's unfortunate taste is wild as fuck. Anyway,
he's facially challenged.
Woo.
What's that shit Mano said to Flip? I don't know if you ever saw this. Queen's Flip, this one he was doing. He don't do this shit no more. He used to go around like had these skits starting shit with motherfuckers. He walked inside a fucking studio that had Mano in there, Jim Jones, and all their folks up in there, right? You know how Jim Jones rolls deep as fuck. They had all these motherfuckers in there. He comes in there turning off the track board shit. How come I ain't on the album? Mano said, "Cause you ugly."
Yo, hilarious. Hilarious.
Terrible, y'all. Terrible.
I don't really got nothing. There was a situation, not really. There was a situation that had happened at work where I had thought I was potentially going to have applied my digits.
You like to lay hands on them? No, I did have one more thing too, so go ahead, do your shit. Like to lay your unhealing hands on a motherfucker. Yeah.
So it's just I always find it weird. Weird isn't the word. I find it abhorrent when men decide to raise their voice at women in a context which they would not do with a man.
Yeah. It's wild, bro.
If you want to raise your voice, at least be equal opportunity.
I think it's that too. Like, be all those things.
Yeah.
But just know the way a woman might react to you doing that is not how I'm going to react, because I come from the planet Krypton too. We have the same power, right? So I'm not willing to accept you yelling at me unless you my drill instructor. Right? Now we yelling at each other. It's mutual. That's cool.
Right.
But you not.
Because that's how some conversations go.
That's how some conversations go. We can yell at each other. Man, this nigga done yelled at each other.
Yeah.
Like, that's how that shit go. But don't listen. If I'm on 5 and you coming in hot at 10,
yeah, bro.
I'm gonna go to 15.
This is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Because what are we doing here? So I was in one of the rental offices, and so they have the main office, and then they have an office over to the left that is kind of segregated off. And then they have the manager's office, which has a door to it. So I was sitting in the manager's office working on one of the computers. And I hear this man getting a little elevated with his decibels and his tone. So initially, I didn't think nothing of it. A mad, upset tenant, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then I realized who he was talking to. One of the managers. Well, one thing that I always say about my company, anytime that somebody brings up some type of racial disparity or some bullshit like that, in this instance, I will say that out of my entire company, all of the managers, there are 2 managers in my company right now that are not black women. One of those 2 is a black man. So I hear you, but I see this. Also know how I've been treated and the fact that I can get away with the things that I get away with and wear on my mask what I wear on my mask, and nobody say anything to me. And I work downtown.
He just says you him.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. And I work downtown at headquarters. I work where the boss works.
Yeah,
the boss sees me relatively often.
Right.
And she don't ever say anything to me about any of that stuff.
Sure.
I can have the hairstyle that I have and have the beard that nobody ever. Right. So, not to say they're incapable, not to say it's impossible. I'm just saying what I've seen since I've been there for the last almost 20 years.
So
that's what I've seen.
Basically, what you're saying is, if it does exist with them, it exists along the margins. It's not.
Yeah. It's not no way in any shape, any type of overt or systemic or no. If it exists, it might just be in perception.
Yep, perception.
And in that case, it's not what my check don't reflect that. So I'm just saying, like, anyway, the point is, so I realized who he's talking to. He's talking to one of the managers. I realized that because she now starts barking back. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
For a second, I lost myself in fandom. She was not, because here's the thing. There are different ways to handle this. Mm-hmm. You can handle it with the measured approach, where despite the fact that they're yelling at you, you don't stoop to that level. You can handle it from the scared approach, where because they're yelling at you, you don't elevate.
Right.
Or you can match that energy. And that's where she was at with it. That's where she was at with it. So I'm like, all right, cool. And then I realized, like, wait, there are no men out there. We don't have any male employees in this building right now, save for me. All right. So I get up. There. That part. So I get up, I walk in there, I look, I see him. He's too busy yelling back and forth at the time. I walk over and sit next to her. Mm-hmm. Interestingly enough, the tone goes down a little bit. Mm. Now, there could be several reasons that this could be the case. I don't know. I'm not a mind reader. I'm not about to tell you what this man was thinking in his mind.
I am.
However, I just happened to notice that somebody had turned down the volume a little bit. That's all. And at this point, she was then able to explain to him what she was trying to explain to him from the beginning. Right. I don't think she took a different approach than what she had been trying before.
Right. She only raised that. She raised his.
Right. I think she was trying to explain the same exact thing to him, the same exact way the entire time. But suddenly, he is more accepting of hearing her speak. So that was the thing.
You know that reminds me of? I ain't gonna hold you. I probably was 12. The next door neighbor, Bucky, was the neighborhood asshole. Mm-hmm. Right? He out there, talking to me and my brother. Mm-hmm. I forget what happened or what happened. I don't remember. I just remember he talking this shit. Yo, my stepfather came outside, all 6'3", all Clint Eastwood demeanor. My stepfather's demeanor is Clint Eastwood, yo. He comes out that motherfucker. So our houses are separated by a little patch of grass about like that big, and the rails of the porch. He comes over. My brother's behind me. I'm standing right here. He walks in between me and the railing. Wayne sits down, turns around. You got a problem? Yo! That decibel went, woo!
Bruh.
That's moving down like a motherfucker.
Hilarious. And that's what I'm saying. So, like, here's the thing. I'm not saying it's one thing. I'm saying it's one thing or the other.
Right.
Either there was a lack of courage or lack of respect. One of the two is what happened, clearly. Because I didn't say shit.
You don't see?
I didn't approach him either.
This how motherfuckers have this mess. It's not, yo, your presence is enough in the life. I was working at this place and they was robbing early that morning. They had robbed one of the other stores along that strip mall. Police comes around asking everybody. I'm at the cash register. They come around asking everybody. It's me and it's my manager. My manager is a short, diminutive young white lady. Jessica. She was cool. She was dope as fuck. Dope as fuck, right? Comes over. Asks us if we see anything. Now, I'm a civilian.
Thanks.
But even if I had, I ain't telling you because nobody got killed. So it's what it is. I said, well, did anybody else see anything? If you can give us a description, just in case they come in here. The cop looked at me, went, they're not coming in here. Jessica started laughing.
Yo! Hilarious.
They're not hilarious. They're not coming in here. Oh, sometimes it's a presence, B. Because he probably was right, because even if they had guns, you want a weaker target, something that appears.
Yeah, you don't want
somebody that could potentially buck and then force you to have to do some. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, yeah. I mean, trust me, I wouldn't have bucked. This ain't my shit.
Right.
You can have this whole cash. You can have the whole cash register. I will unplug that bitch.
You want me to unplug it? Thanks. But yeah, like either the presence of another man made him think twice, or simply he does not respect women to the degree that he feels like he can just talk to them any type of way.
But that's still the same thing, though.
Yep. So again, I ain't saying it's a thing. I'm saying it's this or that.
I'm saying it. I'm gonna tell you what I'm saying. I'm saying it. Y'all wasn't with me, man.
Right.
We was down Federal Hill, taking pictures. We got this is the first time me, this nigga, and Keith even was together in one fucking. And we got a job instantly. Just carrying camera gear back to his car. Actually, it was the second.
This one, yeah, second time. But
this is the time we specifically was down there to have a meeting
about.
This was the early days of multi-world, right? We had to meet. We're gonna do blah blah blah. We headed back. The only reason we had our camera gear with us was for content, because since we was all together and we was downtown Baltimore, like no, we about to.
Yeah.
On the way fucking back, these three women pissed. They had booked some time with some photographer. He didn't show up and shit. And they paid that motherfucker a down payment deposit and shit. They saw us with the cameras like, do y'all take pictures? I was like, no, paint rooftops. Right? I didn't say that, but I always felt like that was a stupid question. You should have seen the gear we had. Like, do y'all take pictures? We instantly go, sure. They paid us. We took them all around the Federal Hill area, took pictures of them. I saw the pictures on my hard drive and shit. And they illustrated the points that I was making at Five Guys when we was having the meetings at, right? I was like, nigga, sure. This money. And then right then, bam, look, money. We walked the women over to this fountain. Beautiful fountain. That whole area is nice. I didn't spend much time in the Federal area growing up in Baltimore. I didn't, right? So a lot of this shit is relatively new, not all of it. But I should be like, yo, this is nice as fuck over here. Nice fountain. We took some dope pictures of them there too.
Mm-hmm.
But see, before we could get to the pictures,
oh goodness,
there was a wedding taking place and one of this little venue or whatever that was like 30, 40 feet away from us. Saw all the guests out there milling around, and it just happened to be some guests over there by the fountain. Well, see, the fountain was the shot. That was the money shot. We wanted to actually get that shot there. I didn't know.
Point of order, sir. This was the egg, not the fountain.
The who? This was the egg?
Yeah, the Fabergé.
Oh, the Fabergé. You're right. It wasn't the fountain. We bought a Fabergé egg. We wanted the shot. Now, I'm not a confrontational guy.
Oh, bullshit! No! It's over. I'll let you rock, and then you went and pulled that bullshit out your ass. No, nigga, no. We not doing this.
Look, okay, let's just say I was still figuring out how we should do this because there was people standing over there by the Fabergé egg, right? So I'm contemplating. I could bark on them, but that's not a good look. These people ain't trying. You know what I'm saying? It's not a good look. Meanwhile, while I'm contemplating how we can get people to fuck out the way, right? This nigga walks over to the people. He doesn't say a damn thing.
Not walk over to
the
people.
Nigga, the people were here. He was here, and he walked here. I don't know how many different ways you can say he walked over to the people. Stoic. He had his camera in his hand. He's making some adjustments and shit. They talking to each other. Then I noticed the nervousness of the speech patterns between them as he's over there. And then they taking little unsettling glances over there at him as he does this shit. And then at some point with the thing, he does this. And the motherfuckers walk off. The motherfuckers walk off to join the rest of the wedding party. They just look when he did that, his predator dreads. So what I'm saying is, sometimes you ain't gotta say shit.
Yeah,
you just need to.
I get the point that you're making. Again, your embellishments are duly noted. However, anyway, so the conversation then continued at a more reasonable tone.
Did they come to an understanding?
Well, he understood what the fuck she was saying. Okay, and he left mumbling under his breath.
Oh, that's unfortunate because that's defeat.
I mean,
literally, that's defeat. If you walk away, mumble, grumble, grumble, mumble,
mm-hmm.
grumble, that's after your decibel was shattering skyscrapers and steel. and now you basically purring like a cat. Under the breath is purring. We're not gonna do that.
I mean,
that's for lots of different reasons. It ain't just they comfortable. Sometimes they nervous. He was purring because he was nervous. Came out there. Well, you lost. You lost.
Sure. It's his thing.
She got her shit off. Yo,
she did. She did. She absolutely did. And it was like, don't get me wrong. Had I not been in the building, she still would have. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thanks.
However, I'm just saying, you being there, though, I refuse to hear any other version of that narrative because I know the presence of a man walk. What's that song by Johnny Cash? When the man come around, right? Like a lot of that shit, kind of. I think Chuck D said that shit. With a man in the house, a lot of that bullshit stopped. Yeah, that's kind of what that was like. Because again, especially if a motherfucker it does depend on the motherfucker though.
Because
there are some rambunctious ass niggas out here that thought that. Like, yeah, not only am I gonna lean on her, let this nigga, and matter of fact, will address you when you walk over there. Niggas is like that. They will address you when you walk over there. I actually respect it.
Sure.
Because then you can move her out the way and then you can talk.
Right.
So I respect it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I respect it. I ain't want her involved anyway. So I'm about to show you I'm from the same planet you from. I'm from the same planet. We got the same powers.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Like that was like, I want to say the most eventful thing. I did some more I have some more observations of the new Chat GPT model.
Oh, do you know?
Yeah, it's aggressively, like, it's high value trash.
Yes,
like it's really high value trash.
That's a good
so it still often gives faulty code.
But it can't count how many R's are in.
Yes, it can finally count how many R's are in Strawberry. There are times when you'll tell it to fix an error, but the error continues to happen no matter what changes it claims to have made to fix it.
That shows they didn't really make any changes, or the changes it made were so marginal, so
right. Yeah. So I started using it in different ways. I think the extra time reasoning definitely shines through the less you know about a topic or the less explicit you are with what you want done. That's an adjustment because the previous models were the exact opposite. You had to give it as much information as possible.
Yeah, they were not intuitive at all.
So that's to say that you get more benefit from letting this model reason more.
Yeah. Which kind of makes sense because that was their focus with this particular model.
Sure. But it has very strict guidelines that it enforces. So I was trying to get my tweets from Twitter. The API system in Twitter has gone to shit since Elon got over there. So I asked it to avoid using Twitter's API. It literally told me it couldn't do it because that would be against Twitter's terms of service. No method I thought of would circumvent this with any regularity. I did get it to do something slightly unrelated that could potentially violate Twitter's terms, but once I asked for something to change in that response, it shut me down again. Mind you, all I was asking it to do everything that I was asking it to do was related to me posting or my tweets that I've already posted. Yeah. So it's not like I was trying to get somebody's.
Those guardrails and guidelines are way too stringent. I used this mode the other day, and I'm asking it for very simple things that are hardly controversial.
Yeah,
and my guidelines can't allow. So you're right. You're right.
So I was like, all right.
I also made mine speak with a Nigerian accent because.
Well, sure, okay, but on top of that, I was like, all right, let me see, because it reasons so intently. I won't say well, right? But because it reasons so intently, I was like, you know what? Let me attempt to. I was off the heels of working with it for coding when this came out, and one of the things it touts is its coding ability.
Yeah.
Let me try to do something else with it that's not coding. So it's bittersweet because the responses when they're good are far superior to the previous models.
Agreed.
The problem I ran into was I wouldn't even call this hallucinating. See, so for those who don't know, when it hallucinates, it like makes up shit that doesn't really exist. So that's why it's affectionately called hallucinating, because it very closely mimics the way we hallucinate.
It's trying to give you an answer anyway.
It'll just make some shit up.
It'll make some shit up.
But in previous models, even though sometimes it wouldn't adhere to every single word you say in the prompt, previous models, it was very good at doing what you said in the prompt. Regardless of whether it does every single thing, it's very rare in previous models that it would just not do. Like, so for instance, in this one that I had been working in, I treated it like previous models. I gave it a list of instructions and a process to do a thing that I wanted to accomplish.
Right.
And there were 9 things that I wanted to get out of that process.
Right.
So I got through like 3 or 4 of them relatively with no issues. By the time I got to the 5th one, it had lost its shit. Like, I would have to, so I would say, all right, let's work on number 5.
Right.
All right, so I would say, let's work with number 4. We would get through everything we needed to get through for number 4. I would say, okay, number 4 is done. Let's call it I win. Right? So I would go, all right, let's work on number 5. And then it would go through what the process was supposed to be, but it would get something wrong. So I would say, okay, you got this wrong. Fix this.
Right.
And in its response, it would say, my apologies. This is what you wanted. We will apply that to I win. No, nigga. That's not what we're working on right now.
Right.
And several times things like that would keep coming up. So
that's fairly annoying.
Bruh.
I'm waiting. Like, I've used the 01 preview very few times, only because without it allowing me to use PDFs for my use cases, it's really not helping me, right? But I'm waiting until the full version is supposed to drop, because as I see it, this shit don't look complete. And I've seen what 4 Army looks like. It's not complete. And they haven't completed it. Remember the early presentations when they were saying it had all these features. We never got the majority of those features. So y'all didn't complete. Y'all did not finish the story. Cody, you did not finish the story. All right. So, and now you're offering us 01 without you even finishing 4 Omni. Right. These are the things that make me suspect. Also, the fact that they are suffering from a brain drain at OpenAI. They just had somebody else that's left, right? So, like, it's leading me to believe, in his zeal to turn this to a complete for-profit company, he is jettisoning certain motherfuckers that made it more of a research platform, and in favor of people who are making it into a full-fledged, for-profit business, right?
Right.
And I think that's going to cause some things. I've heard all kinds of rumors. Oh, it's because they no longer need these people because they already have the roadmap to do such and such. That could be true.
Some of that is true. I can't imagine it can be.
It can't be everybody, yo, because think about it. There's still much to do. Like, even if y'all have the roadmap to get there, there's still much to do. You can pull that with Ilya, but I would argue it's not true, because certain things that Ilya tweeted before he left seems like somebody who was just frustrated with, after that shit that happened where they tried to get Sam out of there, they never treated him the same after that, because he was part of the initial people that did that, and he gets tired of treating like that. So yeah, he posted a resignation thing on Twitter that was very magnanimous, but we all know what that was about, right? That wasn't about him actually absolving Sam of anything. That was about saving face publicly. Anybody would have done that. There's certain things that I will never talk to my audience about what happens between me and other artists in GU or whatever. because that's not for y'all to know that backstage shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that sounds like to me that's what that was. But you can't have everybody leave. All these people leaving, and it's all for the same reason, because we already got the roadmap. They already know what to do. So there's still a lot to do. There's implementation. That's still there to do.
Nigga, the most important part, implementing it. The roadmap is thoughts and prayers.
Facts.
The roadmap is thoughts and prayers.
Facts.
What are we talking about? Yeah, sure. You have laid out how you want this to go. What the fuck does that mean?
Always.
I want to be a billionaire.
Right. But guess what? There's a gap between you saying what you want and you getting there. And they still have all that to do. What I would say about their new voice mode is it doesn't have all of the features. I think a lot of that has to do with the upcoming election, because it won't even you can't even talk about politics for real. The version of 4 that Microsoft has on their Copilot won't talk politics now. Even if you ask it for some information about, we can't do that. I think it's because of the upcoming election. I think it's because earlier this year or late last year, they were saying certain things they wasn't going to release until after the election because they didn't want to be accused of swaying the election, right? So I think that's the case with these guardrails, because I'm literally asking it things about my lore that I wrote. And then every so often hit me with the, I can't talk about that right now. If there's anything else, and then I would repeat it and go, so you can't talk to me about the lore that I wrote about such stuff, about witches and warlocks and shit. Oh, I can absolutely talk about that. And then, it's buggy. It's a buggy, hot mess. And I'm hoping it gets better, like I said. But I'm not going to completely shit on it, because it does have, it is very intuitive and fluid when it want to be.
Yeah.
It's just as buggy as a motherfucker now. And I was telling SBJ this week, Meta has advanced voice mode too, and they don't be talking about it. They don't say shit about it. Now, it don't have all the features that OpenAI one have, but as far as that almost instantaneous response back, are you talking to a regular person? Oh, it does that. I was shocked. I was like, I expected, how you wait for it to think a little bit or whatever it's doing process to give you a response. No, that motherfucker is. Hold up. Let me give you a quick example of that shit. Hello.
Hello. Welcome back. How can I assist you today? Do you need help with your comic book series?
No, I don't. I don't need help with that. You can also interrupt too. I don't need help with that. I need you to say hello to my audience because I'm doing a podcast.
Hello to your podcast audience. Greetings from Meta AI. It's great to be a part of your show.
Well, see, you're not actually a part of the show. I just wanted them to see how quick you respond.
Gotcha. Well, I passed the test. I'm always ready to respond quickly. Have a great podcast.
Nigga, this free.
Right.
So this is the issue I see with OpenAI that is going to have. Meta's leaning into open source. They're leaning into it. Matter of fact, Zuckerberg has had several little talks about the importance of open source. They got the money and the resources to catch your ass. If you just dropping this voice shit, and then a day after or 2 days after they dropping theirs, and it's got some of the same shit that yours has, how far behind you are? Like, Zuck ain't playing. Zuck is not playing. And he's using, I think, Llama 3.2 or some shit. He's using that. So, and that's open source. So, I'm just saying, if Meta is offering free shit that is near or the same quality as the shit you expect us to pay $20 a month for, well, I got to say, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm on Facebook anyway, so.
Facts. All facts.
Just saying. Oh, so the other thing that I forgot to add to that is about my week is we got a new bed. Right? This is a bed that has the little light stuff on it and the things for you to plug in your phone and all that other shit. Does all that. Putting it together though was a son of a bitch. And that's what we did this week. So the pieces came piece by piece. And as soon as all of it came together, I don't know when the last time you bought a bed, but the mattress. Oh, okay. So when you ordered the bed,
I understood that reference.
When you ordered the bed, it came to the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did it come in a box?
Okay, so I have this issue with being specific.
Okay.
When you say bed, do you mean the bed frame?
No, I mean the mattress. I'm talking the mattress.
Okay.
Did the mattress come in a box?
I believe, Chrissy, if you're still listening, did the mattress come in a box? I think. I believe, I could be wrong, because actually we recently just got 2 mattresses effectively. At least one of them came in a box that I had to pull out of the box, and then there was plastic, and I had to cut the plastic open, and then let it okay.
And let it like that's what we had. Which leads me to another aside. Right up the street, before you bend that corner to get to that one side street before you get to my block, there is a mattress company. I have never seen. And the rock means ever. Nary a customer walk in that store or walk out that store with a mattress. I've been over here now over 200 fucking years. No, that's my Wolverine impression and Deadpool. Listen, I've been living over here for quite a few years now. I've never seen anybody, which leads me and my son to believe y'all laundering money. But anyway.
Okay. Interesting.
Come on, bro. Never? Nobody? I take walks, bro. That's the way I go to. Then when we drive and then we come back to. Never? All different times of day. All different times of night. Never? Nobody. Y'all stay fully stocked. And yet you have money to stay open. Come on, bro. Something flaky over there. But whatever the case, mattress came over here. We did exactly what you said. We cut the plastic. The little air shit came out. We had left whatever. So this motherfucker was heavy. All of it. This shit was heavy. The first box that they brought over here, I don't even know how they got it up on our porch. I have no idea. Because getting that shit down the steps, no bueno. Me and my son did that. Got it down there. Step by step. Put it on a hand truck. Wheeled that son bitch over here. Then picked it up. Put it in the house because it was too tall to go through the fucking back door. We bring the shit in. Set that shit down. Now, I take issue with things being in a walkway.
Sure.
One of the main reasons why, because without a shadow of a doubt, it'll be my foot that hits it. Without question, it'll be me going, my damn toe. Without question, it'll be my shin that gets scraped up, has a scab, a scar on it after me. It's going to happen to. So I take issue with it. That shit was in the middle of the floor. It was heavy, which means it was very solid. Which means if I walk through here, half sleep.
Oh, nigga.
Yeah. So that was only down there for a day until the rest of the shit came. So we took the old bed out and piece by piece moved the shit that was in that first big heavy ass box, which is the frame and all that other shit. Piece by piece, put in the room. My son walked away. Me and my wife was in there. putting it together. I ain't gonna say it was a nightmare. What I'm gonna say is it was a daymare. Have during the daytime. You know what I'm saying?
I really hate you.
Happened during the daytime.
Confirmed.
Yo, it was so many. It's funny that you say confirmed, because something I said to you about the Aguilar show. But when I opened it up, I'm looking at the amount of screws. It was so many fucking screws of various different sizes and shit. But as is typical these days, it comes with Allen wrenches and all that other shit, and that comes with it, right? Screwdrivers, all that shit. So that's cool. I still had to dig into my toolbox because it was two of us that was doing it. It was only one Allen wrench per size screw. We was working on some of the same things at the same time, so we both need Allen wrenches. So I had to go in my toolbox to get that Allen wrench out there,
right,
and give it to my wife so we can do some shit at the same time. Speed the shit up. I am not 25 anymore. That might come to everybody, a shock to everybody.
All right, we got it.
You understand that? So, because there's no workbench in that room, there's nothing to set all this heavy ass shit on top of, so you can. Which means I'm sitting on the floor. We got chairs in there, but turns out that's not going to help our situation none. So I'm on the floor. I'm doing all this stuff. Every time I got up, I was like, God damn it.
Oh, yeah.
That part was ass. And then, so the way I opened the screw thing was on the bottom because it protected from the rest of the screws coming out, and then us eventually losing a screw because we're moving the shit around and they all just loosey-goosey in there. There's a downside to doing it that way, though, because the letter designation of the screw is on the other side with the plastic.
Bruh.
So when you flip it to go and look, shit will come out. So what I took to doing was just picking it up. Looking at the default right there to see the shit.
So you probably aren't going to change. However, the way to circumvent that is when you have the bag of screws, you use the head of the screw to poke a hole in the bag. That's it. You don't rip the bag open.
I didn't.
That way. Okay.
I didn't rip the whole thing open. Basically. So I wish I had that shit in there. I would show you, right? So the bottom of it is paperish cardboard type shit.
Okay.
The top of it is plastic where you can see through and see what the screws are. I went on the paper side, knocked a little hole in it, reached in to get the shits. But the problem is we're gonna need to use several screws. So that means I have to keep putting holes in it, which eventually
nigga, no, you don't put more holes in it. You put the one hole. You take the screw out one at a time.
It's hard to do because they're all in different sections on the. I wish I could bring it.
Of course they are.
So me trying to reach to go and get.
No, listen. Damn it! I wish I had one with me so I can show you what I'm saying. All right, I have this bag of chips, right?
Okay.
So the point is, do I have a screw anywhere around? Probably not.
You have no screws.
Damn, where's my knife? I used to keep my knife on,
nice and handy,
because you never know
when the cat might try to jump.
Somebody might infiltrate. Anyway,
the cat might try to jump.
Pen probably won't actually penetrate this bag, but it did. All right, so I have a bag full of pens. I used a pen to poke a hole in the bag. You get a pen out of the bag, and then the next time you need a pen, you use the same hole to get a pen. Okay.
I am. Listen, I'm a bull in the china shop. If I keep going into that same hole, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. It is, yo. It's
God.
It's good. It's a good idea, though. It's a great idea. I'm just saying that the way my fingers are set up, you know what I'm saying? It's just not. So
Fine.
most of the bed is put together.
Mm-hmm.
I put the shelf part that's on the back together yesterday, and I'm going to attach the rest of that to it today. And it came with a box spring, of course, but you got to put that together too, right? So that's still sitting in the thing. We wanted to see, can we get away without a box spring on this motherfucker? And we probably could, except for it's too low. The bed's too low, right? And I don't like that. I don't like that. It's like getting out of a very short car. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that shit. So we were going to put the box spring together too. It was a bunch of work. And meanwhile, before we got started, I turned to the cats and said, is there anybody that wants to get out? Scratch that. It doesn't matter if you want to get out. Get the fuck out. I put them some bitches upstairs because ain't nobody trying to get killed, smack.
Okay.
The way these aloof, uncaring cats, the way they operate around this motherfucker is they find a way to be underfoot. Yeah. You're carrying heavy things into. No. We got one, the little screamy ass cat, Maya, that meow sound like this. She will literally run to get in front of you and then lay down.
Oh, God.
Now imagine us carrying something heavy and shit. Get your goofy asses up the steps. Right now, Maya monkey ass is on top of the old mattress that's down here in the living area of it. Why? Because her and Superfly and Cleo, they lost the bed wars. They lost the bed wars the moment Superfly decided to act weird with Makiba, and now they're not allowed to go in that room. So they sleep on couches.
Right.
Sucks to be them. It's glorious for me because there's less cats in my goddamn bed.
Yes.
Out of here. You know what I'm saying? So this is our consolation prize. As long as that mattress is up there, she'll lay on top of that mattress. Unfortunately for her, this upcoming week, we getting rid of all this shit. So it's back to the couches for you. And it's not even the same couch. She's about to get rid of that too. The new couch come Friday.
Thanks.
They come Friday. So that's getting the fuck out of here too. Now you got to reorient with a new couch. You got to do the biscuit shit you be doing with the new couch. Don't give a fuck how you feel about it.
Hilarious.
But yeah, that was the rest of my week. That was the rest of it.
These cats, man.
I know.
I know.
I thought it was it your mom that had the picture of the cat? Spoiled, all laid up in the blankets and shit.
Oh, that nigga, he's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. So I don't know if I've said this on here before. So he has a routine. Yeah, he has a routine on work days. I get up. He's since added to this routine ever since we've been back from this trip.
Right.
So, well, first, before I get into the routine, another thing he started doing since we get back from this trip is whenever I am laying down, I don't even have to be laying flat. If I'm like lounging on the couch, he has this thing where he has to lay on my chest. Can't not do it.
It's your heartbeat.
What?
It's your heartbeat.
What is that even?
They like to listen to your heartbeat.
That's crazy.
I know.
So, but he wasn't doing that shit before we left.
Oh yeah, I know. This is what I told you before about him not wanting to go into your room.
Oh no, he's still
there.
No, listen,
add new
it's crazy. No, of course he will change his behaviors. I am still flabbergasted by the fact that I opened, was it today or yesterday? One of the two. I opened the door to come in here, and I was bringing stuff in, so I didn't have everything in my hands. Mm-hmm. I opened the door, put the stuff down that I had, went to go get the rest of the stuff. This nigga was sitting in the same spot, did not move, make a single gesture toward this room. I don't understand. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't. Ain't no damn con. I'm expecting him to do it. It makes no sense.
That's why he's not doing it.
That there's one fucking room. Every other room? No, not at all. This room, for some reason, again, he can be sitting there when you open the door, makes no move toward the room. I'm like, what is wrong? Like, to the point where I'm kind of like,
Don't worry. Don't worry yourself. It's coming.
But anyway, his routine every morning between my alarm going off and me getting out of the bed, because what he does is he'll sleep on the top of the landing, and when my alarm goes off or when I got out of the bed, that'll wake him up, because he's not. At this time in the morning, he's not in a deep sleep. No, he's just in low power mode.
He's catnapping.
Yeah, he's in low power mode, and he hears the rustling.
He's conserving his
energy. Come to the door and try to run in the room when I open the door. So 9 times out of 10,
he's practicing.
I have to open the door with one hand and be ready to grab him with the other hand. So I grab him, pick him up, put him in the hallway, close the door. I go take my shower and get ready. When I come out of the bathroom, he will run into the bathroom because the door's been closed. I will generally leave that door open and walk into the room. The first thing I do is put clothes on. And while I'm doing that, he tends to come back to me. And he's rubbing all on my feet, and he lays down. I have to pick him up and put him on the bed. If I am in the room after I get out of the shower and I do not pick him up, he will not get on the bed. He will just make a fuss about it. Now, in the event that I leave the room after I get out of my shower, then he'll get on the bed himself because he'll know I'm not there no more.
Right.
But if I'm still in there, I have to pick him up and put him on the bed.
The routine is crazy.
Bro.
The routine is crazy.
It's the craziest shit in the world, and I don't understand. And it's like he will literally, no matter if when he comes in, no matter if he walks around and does other things, by the time I have all of my clothes on, he is back at my feet.
You must pick
ready for me to pick him up and put him on the bed.
They get into these rhythms of like, so I told you I kick Superfly the fuck up out of here after 10 p.m. Because I don't need to be not in here. Right. You all over my shit.
Yeah.
Get your ass upstairs. Well, it's at the point now where roughly around that time when I start walking towards the steps, I turn around and look wherever he's at. He looks, damn. Then he gets down off of the shit that wherever he's on and follows me upstairs and shit. So what I do, right, to cushion the blow, because I'm not a monster, I'm just ahead of the curve. I pet him up for a little while, and after I close the door. Yeah, come down tomorrow, but you ain't coming down here at night. You ain't staying down at night. And then as soon as I go back downstairs, any cat that's left down here, all of a sudden, I don't go upstairs, except for Cleo. Cleo's a bastard because Cleo will act all obtuse. Well, I don't know what I would be going upstairs for. It wasn't me that caused the other cat to do such and such, and I feel as though they were... Okay, all right, whatever. Then when I get up at 3 a.m. to go to the bathroom, what do I see her? I didn't really need to go upstairs. I can't understand why I left me down here. And then I have to walk up the steps to open the door so she can get out because she don't have thumbs and shit.
Well, right, obviously, yeah. Yeah, no, it's a whole thing, bro.
Yo, Benny's wilding.
It's a whole thing, and he's so annoying.
He looks it. He looks it.
Listen, here's the thing that people don't understand when you're dealing with a person like me. Don't allow anybody that hears me tell you you're annoying. Don't allow them to tell you that it's not an insult. It's absolutely an insult. However, it is still a term of endearment.
It's in love. Yeah, it's all in love.
Because I let you annoy me.
Right.
I don't let people annoy me. I don't
fuck with them. Yo,
I don't fuck exactly.
When people talk about how I can't stand your ass, that's love. Because they allow me around even when they can't stand me.
It's just a fact. It's just a fact of life. I do not allow people to annoy me that I don't fuck with. It's not a thing. I'm quick. Ask the motherfuckers. Ask about me. I am quick to allow your exit from my life,
bruh. This is the same shit we've talked about previously when it comes to blocking motherfuckers online. Look, check this out.
Easy. My block list is expensive.
Get the fuck out of here. You ain't somebody I got to see on a daily basis. And guess what? Ain't nobody keeping no points on whether or not I let you come on my post and talk your bullshit.
Nope.
Fuck you. Thanks. You lucky this ain't in person. You getting off good.
Right.
That's one thing that really get me about these motherfuckers. That really frost me, man. Like y'all motherfuckers be getting away with a lot of shit because we in this online space and shit. Some of the way y'all be trying to talk and all that other shit, you wouldn't be. No, you wouldn't. Because one of two things gonna happen. We both of us gonna be in the ER, or both of us gonna be in the lockup. Like that. Like, no, you wouldn't. And you know, I know another reason why I know they wouldn't. Because I live in the real world, and literally no one does that.
Right, because that's not how the real world works.
Not how people interact with each other.
No, generally that's not a real thing.
No, you do that shit because we on in line and you in fucking Timbuktu and shit, right? So you that shit. No, you wouldn't. You know how I know you wouldn't? Because I've walked in the elevator and seen you get small.
Whoa.
People like you.
Facts.
I know you wouldn't because I've walked past the car and see you lock your shit. No, you fucking wouldn't. You would not. Because I seen you do this corny shit in person like, oh shit. But you online, and your type, I should say. You online.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. I didn't see it. Y'all remember we sat on the bus stop. We on our way going to play pool. We're going to play pool. I was probably 16. Guy pulls up the street. He's waiting at the light. He got his wife on the passenger side. He sees us over there and reaches over his wife to lock the door. I was like, yeah, you bitch ass nigga. We ain't even thinking about you. But look how you react.
Fact.
So when I see all the online tough, I'm like, yo, I seen your type in person before. You're not. And typically humans don't do that.
Yeah, nobody wants to hassle.
Nobody wants to hassle. It's not even a fear thing. Typically, people don't do that. They don't react that way. They don't talk that way to strangers. You do that because this anonymity shit.
Yeah.
Space.
Yeah, real shit.
Final frontier. That's where you boldly go where none of you motherfuckers have gone before in public. Right here. Talking that crazy shit.
And that's exactly how we'll end this episode.
We would like to thank all of you for joining us for another rousing edition of the Black Culture Geeks podcast. Be sure to never forget there is always music.
Always.
And also a very special birthday shout out to Graydon Square.
Absolutely.
My man, them 40s they moving, ain't they? That's what happens around 40. Them motherfuckers start moving. You know what I'm saying? You gonna go to bed tonight? Wake up 55. You gonna wake up 55. And I'm gonna be like 65 in Panama. It's like, oh, shit just be happening. You know what I'm saying? Shit just be happening. Also, do not forget to check out my sister, his significant other, Chrissy's show, Heard It Through the Grapevine. Indeed. I was late as fucked up. Yo, I was doing something. I can't remember what it was. I was late as shit. I went and I looked, and they was already on that motherfucker for like almost 60 minutes. Like, what the fuck? I still said first, though, because, yeah.
Of course you did. Because why wouldn't you?
I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? But again, like I said, there's always music. It's Tombstone the Dead Man. It's SPJ. It's GA and Graydon. Also, Graydon has like 2 projects he could drop.
Right.
Two. But he's so consumed with the damn OBC. You know what I'm saying? He got 2 projects for y'all that he could drop. But yeah, he writing the book now. I don't blame him.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can make a whole bunch of money out that book. So yeah, I don't blame him. You know what I'm saying? Keep writing, do shit. You know what I'm saying? Also, don't forget Super Side Guy and Hendrix Metas and Mutants podcast as well. And do not forget also that Reaper Legion Network just put a new shirt up there. The answer is most people are stupid. That
are stupid.
That's the new shirt right there. Go check that out when you get the chance. And yeah, so for my man SPJ, I am Tombstone the Dead Man, and for the greater multi-world entertainment family, we are out.
Peace.